from Oxnard, California.
And we are live in Oxnard, California. Welcome on to the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix on the tennis courts in Oxnard, where, boy, it has warmed up to 71 degrees today compared to yesterday. That's a lot. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com and our original Rock the Mic champ is joining us back in Texas. In and out of the show today as he's got work to do for bloggingtheboys.com and a lot to get into today when it comes to Cowboys camp news. And there's other camp news. You know, some quarterback showed up in Green Bay today. I told you that was going to happen. Texas and OU were inviting themselves to the SEC party. It's funny how they have to legally do stuff. You know, now they're requesting permission to enter. And Simone Biles is going to be a big story and has been a big story because she mentally wasn't in the right space today to compete, pulled herself out of competition. Team USA ends up with silver, and it has sparked an interesting debate that we will get into because you want to be sensitive to mental issues and mental needs. And I think all of us have come around to, you have to, but at the same time, in the middle of the competition, she just pulls herself out. It's a very interesting debate when it comes to team sports, and the reaction very mixed. And I don't know if it's because there's more awareness now on mental health or because she's a female. And if would you have the same reaction if Tim Duncan or Manu in Game 7 of the 2005 finals against the Detroit Pistons said, you know what, Coach, I'm just mentally not here today. I'm not going to play. Or if LeBron, I think about all the crap that LeBron took for cramping up at a game at the AT&T Center in the NBA Finals. What if he would have just said, mentally, I'm just not in my space? It's going to be an interesting debate that we'll get into. But we are here at Dallas Cowboys training camp, and boy, they had it was fun today because yesterday was a player day off, our first day here, which was nice because, it's like you show up and, you unpack and you get acclimated and then you start your vacation. And that's kind of what yesterday felt like. Got the lay of the land because everything here is different than it has been in years past. COVID, the layout, all that kind of stuff. Today, players on the practice field, not in pads yet. Those go on tomorrow, but a good spirited practice today and a new safety that showed up in training camp.
Oh, yeah. Malik Hooker, now a member of the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out to the number 28. Finally gets to grace the back and the front of a capable safety in the National Football League. Not somebody who's just pretending to do it like an aforementioned fine Texas Aggie and El Paso Miner.
Well, and you look at that and you go, okay, so they finally got Malik Hooker in camp. Now, yesterday when Jerry Jones joined us here on the Blitz, he all but said it was a done deal. But because of all the protocols, it had to take a while. I will point out that he was on the football field today. And very interesting that he came in. He's been here. Jerry told us that. They worked him out this morning, and you would have thought that, I don't know, the president was on the field. Like everybody, look this way, don't look that way. We're working out a player. Don't even walk by where you might get a glimpse of one of the two practice fields. We're working out a player. And then, how things go, you realize it was Malik Hooker going through, I guess, his final workout before he could officially sign, has his jersey 28 on, out on the practice field wearing a mask, didn't actually participate in any of the team drills today. But even Mike McCarthy before the practice, but shortly after the workout. So how they do it is they worked out, then Mike McCarthy speaks every day, then they go have practice. But he even talked about adding in Malik Hooker.
I think it's clearly an opportunity to add another excellent player. This is something that we visited on back in, I don't recall his visit, maybe it was March, we had a chance to bring him in, and he's completed his rehab. And I think like anytime you have a chance to, just continue to build the competition on your roster, if it works out for both sides, you definitely take advantage of that.
And it certainly did work out for both sides. RJ, just a couple of things. The importance of the Cowboys finally signing a free agent safety.
It's the third one, to be fair. But quantity doesn't.
Okay, I'll rephrase it. Signing a quality free agent safety, a big name free agent safety.
That's what I was going to say. Quantity doesn't always, spill over into quality. Finally, by the way, Cowboys get a free agent safety who wore number 29 with his old team. It only took them 4 years. But, I mean, this is, look, I hesitate to be like, this is awesome because, to be fair, they did sign a big name last year in Clinton Dix. That didn't work out. But Malik Hooker is a great safety, great coverage skills. That's something the Cowboys need help on in the back end. Right now, they've got Donovan Wilson, who they can rely on to some degree. But outside of that, it's just kind of a rotation of question marks. And Malik Hooker raises your floor, and that's really what you need back there. That's the weakest spot of the team. I know Jerry said that to you specifically.
Well, and again, Jerry did say that was the area of greatest concern for him, and they're doing what they can to address it. Are you surprised that, we're in training camp, pads go on tomorrow for the first time, that while he did come in for a visit, he came in for the visit and they let him walk out the door? Was it because he wasn't quite right in the rehab process? Maybe the offer wasn't quite right. He didn't have other options, or you figured he would have signed him, or it was, man, you're just not there yet. We can't take that risk. We're not going to take that risk. When you're further along in the rehab, several months down the road, if you can pass this physical, we'd love to have you.
I think it was a combination of things. The Cowboys, we know, don't like to spend a lot of money in free agency. Malik Hooker probably believes highly in himself, probably came in and thought, you know what, like I can command this. And we haven't gotten details on the contract yet, to be fair. But I bet the Cowboys did not want to pay what his original asking price was, especially given the questions encircling his injury status. And so, I think that they waited. And more often than not, when they do that, the player goes on, signs elsewhere. Sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't. But this time, he waited. And he was very vocal on social media about liking his visit with the Cowboys, et cetera. And so, I think it just finally worked. I think he didn't get an offer elsewhere that he liked enough. I imagine he wants to play for a bit of a contender. There probably aren't a lot of spots in the NFL that he could jump in and be a starter right away. Dallas does offer that opportunity. So I think it's a coalescence of a lot of different variables. Well,
and the other part of the addition of Malik Hooker to this Cowboys secondary, and again, I was a little surprised when he came in, they didn't sign him. And, they signed Casey, and, then another one in Neal that they're going to actually move to linebacker, which I thought was interesting. But you just always got the sense they didn't feel comfortable there. I do wonder, though, since we get to training camp, is they weren't going to sign him in March if he couldn't pass that physical. But did they have a gentleman's handshake agreement that when you can pass the physical, we will sign you? Here are the terms. Because I was a little surprised that nobody else signed him, which does give me a little bit of pause on celebrating the signing of Malik Hooker, because he didn't find a job anywhere else either. And unless there was that agreement that was in place that you're coming here because he was so vocal about it, that maybe they had it as soon as you can pass your physical and you can participate, we're gonna bring you in. And I'm sure, almost like what we saw last year with Gerald McCoy, a lot of provisions in that contract when it comes to health.
Yeah, totally. By the way, Joe McCoy is still a free agent, which is crazy to think about, that it's been a year now for him. We'll see if he jumps on somewhere. But ultimately, it's a good thing. And again, look, I'm super excited about Malik Hooker, but the fact that he automatically is a serious playmaker in the at the safety spot speaks to the quality of the safety position as a whole. But this is how the Cowboys want to operate, right? It's like just kind of low-level free agents, low draft picks, et cetera. So get a bunch of them and see which one works out. I like that they have a bunch of options. DeMonte KZ had a good practice today, had an interception. So it's not like he's out of the running for this starting job opposite of Dono. So ultimately, if Malik Hooker is going to challenge KZ or whoever it is, Jaron Kearse, I mean, that's a good thing. But I do think he has the inside track to be the starter, assuming he's fully healthy.
It's interesting that you talk about KZ getting an interception today. The defense won the day during practice. Certainly the part of practice that I watched. Dak did throw a couple of interceptions today. They got turnovers. What I can tell you about what I saw with practice today after the player day off yesterday, a lot of energy out on the practice field in every position group. And you don't always see that. So when I say that, I mean a little bit more than normal. Pads go on tomorrow, so there's some anticipation there. But even Mike McCarthy, and I forget the exact way he phrased it, but yeah, they've looked good in underwear. Tomorrow the pads go on. How different is it going to be when there's hitting? The idea that, they're out there, minimal contact, helmets, and they're in shorts. Tomorrow the game gets stepped up quite a bit when it gets very, very physical.
Yeah, I mean, and to be clear here, there's a measure of safety involved. Michael Gallup had a scary moment today. It's with no pads on. So, as excited as we are, we're all still apprehensive. It's, we're all excited because all these players are healthy and everything's great and kumbaya, but things can change in a moment's notice. And that's a really terrifying lifestyle in the NFL. But that's why you got to supplement yourself with other players like Malik Hooker. You got to have a lot of bodies. You got to have a lot of depth because this is a war of attrition.
It is a war of attrition. You bring up Michael Gallup, and if you haven't seen the video somewhere on social media, it's a pretty incredible play. The athletic ability that Michael Gallup showed, catching a pass and then running towards one of the fences and then flipping over. You see that sometimes with softball players that are going to catch a home run because they've got generally smaller fences, or you think about Little League when you see a player trying to catch the home run ball and they flip completely over. You don't often see that in an NFL practice. Go back to, say, arena football. If you ever went to a San Antonio Talons game, you'd see guys flip over the wall all the time. They practice that, and it's a padded wall. Here, it's a chain link fence that does have some covering, some protective covering over the top of it. But when you see Michael Gallup do that, I mean, first off, every trainer in the world was running over there. It was like, and he's all right. He's fine. He avoided anything serious, but it could have been scary. I mentioned arena football. Ty Nsekhe is now with the Dallas Cowboys. He played for the San Antonio Talons back in 2012, 2013. He's going to join us a little bit later on here on the Blitz. Ty is an incredible story that, quite frankly, hasn't been told well enough. That's a lot on him. You think about Ty coming out of high school at Texas State, got into some trouble there, and ended up spending some time in jail, got out, playing in AF2, back into jail, and bouncing and doing. I mean, you're 6'8", 350. There's bouncing jobs are easy to get. And then, to go through all the arena teams, I can't even tell you how many he played for, but to end up with the NFL, cut by the Colts, cut by the Rams, signs with Washington, makes some decent money there, then gets a big contract from the Bills. For him to come in and start playing for the Dallas Cowboys and adding depth on the offensive line, just an incredible story. Ty Nsekhe joining us a little bit later on the Blitz, and to think where he's come from, that's a guy that appreciates every minute of being in the NFL. And for a guy that grew up in Arlington to have a star on his helmet now to cap off his NFL career, that's quite a journey.
Yeah, I mean, he is an important piece. Like, I think that's something that people really need to understand. He's the team's swing tackle, and this is a team which, has some precarious situations at the tackle spot. I know we're all hopeful and excited about Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins, but, I mean, Ty automatically vaulted Brandon Knight and Terrence Steele, another guy who we obviously are rooting for. Not that we're not rooting for Brandon Knight, but Ty represents a lot of hope. I mean, he is, what was that show that they did? Where it was like the fifth person in line for the president's designated survivor. That's who Ty is. I'm talking about? Like, he's the guy. Let's put him in the safe room because, if crap hits the fan, we're really going to need him.
Well, it's fine. I'm just glad you didn't go with a How I Met Your Mother reference, because generally that's what you do when it comes to TV show references, and none apply in this case.
That show sucks.
I will say, don't tell that to Pledge. I will say, though, RJ, Tyron Smith, after practice today, was walking by and had taken off his jersey, so he's shorts and he's shirtless. That dude, I mean, he is huge when you see him in pads. Out of pads, I mean, my goodness, that guy looks to be in incredible shape and always has been, right? I mean, to think about a man as big as he is, and when you see that, he ain't fat, never has been. when I hear Mike McCarthy or Dak Prescott say he seems to be in the best shape of his life, yes, I will say, just watching them practice today and then seeing them walking off the field, like, holy crap, what are they doing in that weight room?
He is a monster. Like that word gets thrown out like way too casually. He is a true and utter football monster. He's only 30 years old. Like that gets so lost. You know what I mean? In how amazing his career is. That he is a 10-year NFL veteran at the age of 30. It's amazing.
It really is amazing. And health. And I know you caveat everything with health, and every NFL team does, and injuries are certainly a part of the game. But if he and LC can stay healthy, this offense should be prolific. Although they had a rough day today, Dak, with some interceptions. But, I mean, all the guys look good. But, again, hard to judge until tomorrow when the pads go on. And that's really when you start seeing things come together, especially in team drills. Let's switch over and talk about the Green Bay Packers a minute. We'll have some more Cowboys news coming up. McCarthy with some interesting things to say about scrambling drills today and the way they practice them, and that certainly is different than past training camps we've been to with Jason Garrett coaching. I know they do it some. It is a major emphasis with the Cowboys, and Mike McCarthy's explanation, interesting to discuss. We'll do that coming up just after 4:30. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com will join us at 5 o'clock. We've got some Spurs news to talk about as we get closer and closer to the draft. By the way, the NBA did announce today, RJ, that the play-in tournament that some hated, some loved, is going to return for the next NBA season. So it's going to be the same format. So if you didn't like it last year, you're certainly not going to like it this year. The NBA Board of Governors did approve that play-in tournament just like last year, and training camp will begin September 28th. The regular season for the NBA, October 19th. So the NBA doing what they can to get back on their traditional schedule. It's going to be interesting.
I mean, I liked the old. I liked this past season, but whatever. What do I know?
Well, I mean, again, you look at the NBA and you think about key dates for the upcoming season. Training camps are going to begin on September 28th, the regular season on October 19th. Game 7 of the 2022 NBA Finals will be June 19th, Game 7 if necessary. So we're not going to have the finals going on in the next week we start NBA training camps. I mean, that's essentially what it boils down to. The regular season will end April 10th. They are back on their normal calendar. The NBA draft in 2022 will be June 23rd. So the NBA, 2 years of funkiness, back on their regular schedule, but that play-in tournament is going to stay in play.
Do you like the tournament thing? I don't have a passionate take one way or the other. I'm more upset about the schedule than I am the play-in tournament.
Well, the play-in tournament, I like it because I know where the San Antonio Spurs are now. And as much as I hate it, it gives them an opportunity to get into the postseason because we know that they are going to be in the bottom half of the standings going into the season. You know they're not going to be competing for home court advantage in the first round if they get in. So basically, instead of hoping for the 8th seed, you kind of hope for the 10th. It doesn't affect their lottery status all that much. I mean, I didn't mind it this year. I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know if I would have gone 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe just do something for 10 and 11 to or 9 and 10 or 10 and 11 to play 9 to maybe play 8. Penalizing a team at 6 or 7 seems a little odd to me. But you're not a fan of the schedule going back to the regular?
No, I mean, we said it, when quarantine first started and we were kind of, playing schedule maker, right? Like when we had no idea when the bubble was going to start and things like that, we talked about like, this allows the NBA to get to a point where they can start their season on Christmas Day in 2021. And that would have been awesome, or like if that had stayed, like if we had kept this sort of, I don't know how many times in my life I've heard Jason Minnick say the sentence, the NBA season really starts on Christmas Day. That would have been a perfect kickoff day. I know the NFL's encroached on that territory before, But I mean, I don't know why you want to fight with that. Like, and that, that April month can get so finicky when you want to start the playoffs. There's so much stuff that happens there. Obviously, you're coming off the Masters. There's a lot of fights that happen around then. NHL playoffs are starting. Like, it gets into this big machine of stuff happening when you can kind of own things a little bit more by yourself.
As we continue, James Pledger producing as always. You just sent me a statement that the NFL has made on quarterback Deshaun Watson. As I'm reading this statement, and basically they're acknowledging they're aware that there's a police investigation going on, but they're not putting them on the commissioner's exempt list. They're not barring them from any team activities. They've just acknowledged something that we've all been reading about for months, details that we really don't want to know about another man, that the NFL is finally just acknowledging that, Houston, we have a problem.
It seems that way. I don't know how the Texans or the NFL is allowing this to happen right now. This is mess. It's messy. It's gross. Frankly, to say it's embarrassing is way beyond the point. But I don't know how the NFL hasn't put, like, they have shown no hesitation in the past to put players on the commissioner's exempt list. Like, I don't know why that has not been enforced at this point in time, just to at least, like, the NFL is doing the Houston Texans no favor. Because right now, the Texans are, to say they're between a rock and a hard place doesn't even properly categorize it. They are stuck. They are truly like.
Well, you talk about the situation that the Houston Texans are in when it comes to Deshaun Watson. I think all of us expected the NFL to bail them out and put them on the commissioner's exempt list. That makes it clean for everybody. The Texans have moved on with Tyrod Taylor is going to be their starting quarterback. They brought in Driscoll. They've drafted a quarterback. And he shows up for training camp. I think a lot of people were surprised that he actually showed up for training camp, but he showed up for work. He's under contract. He doesn't want to get fined $50,000 a day, especially when you get 22 civil lawsuits that you might have to settle. So you can't, you can't have this money that potentially could go out the door and then $50,000 a day for training camp. And he didn't opt out. He still wants to get traded. Houston has moved on from him until they can get a deal to their liking, and they don't want to trade him on a discount. Similar to a degree what the Spurs were going through with Kawhi, and the Spurs ended up with the best deal that they could get for Kawhi Leonard at the time. But when you look at they still want 3 number ones. They're not just going to give up on him, but he shows up to work. Now, by all accounts, and looking at some reports from the NFL Network, and the Texans are getting a lot of attention that they normally wouldn't get because Deshaun is there. People want to watch the soap opera. How's this going to play out? If they don't put him on the PUP list, he'll be made available to the media, or at least the media is going to be able to request him. He seems to be engaged, whatever that means, in meeting rooms, so he's not a distraction. He's doing everything that he should be doing as a player coming into practice. But Pledge, they hit the practice field tomorrow. Is that their first day of practice? So are we going to see Deshaun Watson working with the third string? Are we going to see him taking reps after, like watching Cowboys camp? You see Dak go, then you see Garrett Gilbert go, then you see Ben DiNucci go, and then we saw Cooper Rush go today. Not that Cooper is fourth string, but he'd missed a couple days, so he was going fourth. Are we going to see Deshaun going fourth or fifth or whatever it is, working out on the side with the kickers? What is he going to be doing at practice? Or do they just leave him inside the weight room? Hey, man, you just stay in here. Don't go out on the field.
I am intrigued as to how this is going to play out, and it has easily become one of the most hate-watching storylines this training camp season that I can remember.
I think, Jason, it's a shame, actually, because I do a podcast with the guy who runs our Eagles side of SB Nation, and they've obviously been linked to Deshaun Watson. We recorded that today, and it'll go out tomorrow. And when we talked about it, he said, look, I don't want to talk about this Deshaun Watson situation, but he is a player who's been a superstar in the league, and he's being connected to the Eagles. Like, this is a really gross thing to have to talk about, the Eagles being connected to trading for him. And the NFL, like, it's actually gross that we're sitting here talking about, like, well, what's Deshaun worth as a football player? Is he worth 3 first-round picks? Like, the fact that the NFL is allowing these conversations to happen, because that's just the nature of the way people talk about things, is actually, like, this falls on them. I think that the Texans are stuck. And I'm not at all exonerating Deshaun Watson, but with regards to showing up, he's stuck. Like, what's he going to do? Not show up? I mean, so the NFL really should step in here and take care of this and just buy everybody the time for the legal process to play itself out.
Aaron Wilson, who used to cover the Texans for the Houston Chronicle and a great NFL reporter, tweets out, because law enforcement investigation is ongoing, the NFL hasn't been given access to evidence the police have gathered in their investigation. If that's the case, and they're saying, look, if the NFL is saying we can't do anything because we don't have all the facts, I almost say, well, okay, but we've seen guys get suspended for less. I mean, just with what you've seen on the civil side, isn't that enough from the player conduct just to put them on the exempt list until they can sort all this stuff out? The idea that, well, you know what, he might as well show up for work on Tuesday because, well, the police aren't sharing anything yet because it's active and ongoing. You've got 10 that are now in the criminal phase, 10 women that have accused him that have criminal investigations. That is according to Deshaun's own attorney. Is that not enough for Roger Goodell? I mean, we've seen guys seemingly with one accusation get in trouble. I think he might be a running back for the Cowboys.
When Adrian Peterson was put on the commissioner's exempt list now 7 years ago, I mean, there was still a lot of questions, but at the time, the NFL was still dealing with the fallout of Ray Rice. They were dealing with the fallout of Greg Hardy. So the NFL treated every situation as this kind of toxic, radioactive thing. Like, let's just put it on this mat. I think that was when we all learned what the commissioner's exempt list was. Like, let's just put them on this magic list. They go away, and we let everything play itself out. Here's the other thing. The NFL, you mentioned a running back on the Cowboys. In that particular case, the NFL superseded the legal system and said, we're going to do our own thing. And now the NFL is saying, like, nah, man, we're waiting on the law to play, because that's how we roll. And this is where the league constantly trips over itself and makes itself look stupid.
Well, that's it. With Zeke, they were way too far over here. Now they're way too far on the negative side of letting it play out. Where's the happy middle? I think everybody expects this to happen. Just with what we've read in the legal documents, do they? Should they? Absolutely, they should. If you're a team, would you give up 3 first-rounders for Deshaun right now? I mean, you look at the Denver Broncos. Clearly, they missed out on the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes because he showed up for work today in Green Bay. If you're Denver, the same conversations that were had about that team, that is a Super Bowl caliber team if they had the right guy at quarterback. Would you roll the dice right now if you're the Denver Broncos and say, okay, we won't get Aaron Rodgers. Let's give up those same 3 number ones and whatever else we need to go get Deshaun Watson? Because you're everybody was saying when it came to Aaron Rodgers, you're a quarterback away. I think Deshaun's on that caliber of being a quarterback that can lead a team to a Super Bowl. But would you make that move right now, knowing everything that he is dealing with off the field?
Again, this is a tough question, but the answer is no. If you're the Denver Broncos specifically, because if you're the Denver Broncos, all you got to do right now is be patient, right? Like the thing you want, Jason, I know you showed up to the store. You really want that PS5. I know you didn't get it, but it's on layaway. You've got that, investment already in, and it's coming your way. You just got to wait a little bit. If you're the Broncos, let Jerry Jeudy continue to grow and develop. Let, Cortland Sutton continue to grow and develop. Let Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert fight this thing out, because next year you get Aaron Rodgers. Let whoever else is going to deal with it. But I don't know how anybody can deal with it, like be in this. And again, the fact that the NFL is allowing the question to hang over whatever team's head is their fault. This is the league's decision to make right now to put an end to this so that we can wait for everything to fully play itself out.
It's going to be interesting to see how it does play out. We'll talk more about it a little bit later on here on the Blitz. Coming up as we continue here from Oxnard, California, for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage, brought to you in part by Ewald Kubota and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Mike McCarthy had some interesting things to say about the scramble drill today. We'll talk about that and more. Mickey Spagnola will join us at 5 as we are here at Cowboys training camp. That means fantasy football season is right around the corner. Jason Minix here. I have found the best new place to play fantasy sports online. It is UnderdogFantasy.com. They have daily and season-long fantasy sports, an NFL best ball format, which is easy to play, no waivers, no trades. You just draft, set it, and forget it, and it's a great way to practice before you have your home league draft, which is about a month or so away. They already have contests for the 2021 NFL season already live, including the Best Ball Mania 2 tournament, which is only $25 to enter, $3.5 million in total prize. It is the largest tournament in fantasy football. Download their mobile app or play online at UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up today, use promo code RADIO, make your first deposit, and you're going to receive a free $25 in bonus cash. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. Register with promo code RADIO to get $25 cash for free with your first deposit. Download the app today, start playing, and don't forget, promo code RADIO at sign-up. Terms and conditions apply, and if you don't like it, they guarantee your money back up to $100. So go download the app or go to the website, UnderdogFantasy.com.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, and in the NFL, after reporting to training camp over the weekend and pushing for a trade out of Houston, Deshaun Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, told ESPN yesterday that 10 women have made complaints to Houston police against him, including 2 that were not involved in civil suits. In Major League Baseball, the Houston Astros lost a 7-0 lead as they dropped their opener in Seattle against the Mariners 11-8. The Astros look to bounce back when they continue that series tonight from Seattle with first pitch set for 9:10. The Texas Rangers return to action after the day off as they're looking to snap a 12-game losing streak, which is their longest since 1982, as they return home to open up a series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. First pitch is set for 7:05, and it's a game you can catch right here on your home for Rangers baseball, starting right after the Blitz. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Thomas J. Henry recently recovered $20 million for a back injury in a product liability case. If you were hurt in an accident, we can help. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio to start your claim today. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour, barely keeping up. But to cruise through challenges, you need someone who's right there with you. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the tech advice you need to get past whatever's in front of you and get to where you want to go.
Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL and do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro.
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMSS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/LOVE.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The new San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Set the roof on fire.
There you go, Pledge. Back here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage continues. Brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Ewald Kubota. I'm Jason Minix out in Oxnard. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com playing air guitar back in his house in Harlingen.
Harlingen is about 15 miles away from here, so good one. Good way to mess that up.
Where are you at?
Westlaco. You knew that.
Oh, Westlaco. Yeah, I knew that. It's I was like Dak Prescott, man. It's my second fumble of the day. It's all right, man. It's 37 minutes in. First turnover. I got he threw a pick six today. One of the things, RJ, is it really Westlaco? I don't know why I was thinking it was Harlingen. Maybe because you were when we were looking at flights, if you were able to make the trip, you were flying out of Harlingen.
Plus, I was born in Harlingen, so maybe you just know everything about my life.
Oh, I know you went to high school in Brownsville, but that's besides the point.
Golden Eagles.
Yeah, the worst uniforms in Texas high school sports.
True that.
Yeah, it is very true. What are your thoughts on scramble drills?
Well, if they're in the morning with a pan and a spatula, they're fine. But if they're not, I'm a fan. I think it's smart to practice breaking down. And that's what scramble drills are to me.
They really are. When you come to whether you're at an NFL training camp like we are right now, you go to a high school practice, on a Wednesday, coaches work through every possible situation, right? I mean, everything that is there. But it does seem like McCarthy spends a little bit more time on scramble drills than most, right? He was asked about his emphasis on the scramble drills, and I found his answer to be very, very interesting.
Well, the scramble aspect's always been part of my practice structure. I think it's like anything. Most things I do come from the view of the quarterback, but it's something that both sides need. And our defense needs a scramble component as much as the offense. So that's we've done scramble drills on air just with the offense. I've always done scramble drills that convert in team practices. I think it's important. You're in a team period. You have 22 guys working. If a defensive lineman beats a offensive lineman, it's a registered sack. But the whole play, shutting the whole play down, you're missing a great opportunity to convert into scramble drill because the rush plan, the rushers have to transition rush. The offense have to react. They have to extend. 2.3 is the normal, normal starting point of a play where things are all fitted, but big plays happen above 2.3 seconds in a play. So, and it happens so much more than you think it does. In the old days, we used to chart them. It was 4 plays a game. Now it's up to about 8 plays a game when the quarterback slides his feet in and out of the pocket, comes out of the pocket. So it's just, once again, train the way you play. It was an area that I would not say we graded out very well in last year, on both sides, both scramble phase, offensively and defensively. And it's a reflection that we're working on it more this year than probably I have in quite, some years. So, but it's always been part of how I viewed the game of football, particularly from the quarterback position and stressing their defense side. We're practicing a little more.
It was a very RJ Ochoa type of answer with the facts in there. An offensive play is 2.3 seconds. And you're able to do things in 2.3 seconds. Scrambles, plays longer than the old days, 4 plays. And they've doubled that now. And the emphasis is there. And I appreciate, when you see a play break down in practice, they don't just stop the play and throw the ball into the dirt and have the quarterback yell at somebody they keep going. And, I shouldn't have to say, man, it's brilliant because you're not wasting the play. You're not wasting the time, but it really is. And, we haven't seen a lot of that at past Cowboys training camps.
I think just fundamentally, that's what's killed the Cowboys, right? Like Mike McCarthy's quarterbacks or quarterback specifically, and his ability to scramble, right? Like that's when things have broken down. Think about the 3rd and 20 play that he pulled off against, the Cowboys defense and Byron Jones and Jared Cook caught it. That was a scramble play. So I certainly believe that it helps Dak Prescott as a quarterback, although I think he's great at scrambling, great at pocket mobility as a whole. But this Cowboys defense, like we say all the time, like if things go according to plan, like they're generally fine. But it's when things break down and crap hits the fan, so to speak, that like they suddenly don't know what to do. And so I think this is really smart. I don't want to read too much into it, but I think it's a wise utilization of the time that they have together at Oxnard.
Well, it is, but I am kind of reading a little bit into it because they weren't good on it last year, not just on the offensive side, but on the defensive side. And I don't know, when you think about most scramble drills, when you go in knowing that this is a scramble drill, you're prepared for it. But the fact that on every play here, they don't blow it dead at the sign of the first mistake. They keep going. So you've got to have both sides reacting. So both coachings, whether your offensive staff or the defensive staff, when you start looking at the film and breaking it down after practice, you're getting those teachable moments, because the Cowboys' offense or defense was awful at that last year when other teams scrambled. How many big plays did you see on, man, that could have been so good, but they didn't get the sack, and then the quarterback was able to get away and ended up throwing a long touchdown pass because the defense kind of gave up on something.
Yeah, and that goes for everybody. We see all the time in the NFL, there are certain receivers and stuff that, like, you're just like, man, how does he always find him, right? Like, when plays are breaking down, like Aaron Rodgers wants Randall Cobb back in Green Bay, right? It's like, how's he always finding him? It's because they practice it, right? Like, they practice, and so certain receivers know how to bail. That's a skill. Like, it's a skill to be a master of the route tree and be able to do this and that and et cetera. But it's also a skill to say, man, my dude back there needs me. I have to bail on this, and I have to get open somehow, some way. And the only way you get better at it is you do it over and over and over again. This helps, and it also helps because, like, how many times do we see, like, in plays like that where the play breaks down, a legal man downfield, right? Like, stuff like that happens, and so you've got to know how to guard against it. There's an illegal man downfield right behind you, by the way.
Yeah, his name is Rob Thompson, but he is not getting a penalty flag. He is getting a medal because he and Rudy J, they
no
just
way,
brought
not
lunch.
Again, dude. No, not again,
and yes, day 2 of Carl's Jr. I think we are starting an awful new tradition here at Cowboys training camp that we when they left out of here to go get lunch, RJ. It's like, what do you want? I don't care, burger. We were talking about In-N-Out last night. You would have thought they were giving away, I don't know, free tickets to Disneyland at this one In-N-Out. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and the line was ridiculous, right? And they get it every day here. I don't understand, but so we talked about, well, we'll get it in California because Rudy J's not necessarily a fan of In-N-Out, but there is something different about getting it in California. And, there was all kinds of options. Get a sandwich, do something. And, Rob shows up with another bag of Carl's Jr., which tells me he either got lost looking for something or they were driving around and nothing kind of said, yeah, let's go there. And they just went back to Carl's Jr., or he really enjoyed his Carl Jr.'s yesterday. See, I said no to Carl's Jr. I believe, Rudy J, wasn't the phrase I said. They're on a pretty good streak right now of 1. Why screw it up and go back to back? But Carl's Jr. again is what I'm getting for lunch.
I mean, dude, with so much food around you, Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr. is fine if you're in the middle of some city where you don't know anything else. But 2 days in a row in beautiful Oxnard, California, I can't get on board with that. I'm sorry. That's a 2 out of 10 performance on Rob and Rudy.
Don't blame Rudy. Right? I mean, do not throw this on Rudy. It's not your fault, right? No, hell no. You kind of pissed that you got Carl's again?
What if you found out they ate something else and then on their way back they were like, crap, we got to get Jason something.
Hey, where'd you guys go to lunch? Oh, you went to Carl's? Oh, they ate in the car.
In the car? What kind of monstrosities happening here?
Dude, man, it's we're busy. Although we are going to go down the Pacific Coast Highway tonight, go down and get some good fish tacos or something down in Malibu. So while we're getting crappy lunch, dinner tonight's going to be spectacular. I mean, Rudy went out to the Pier Ventura last night for the first time. We went to Eric Erickson's, and what was that place called? Cool new brewery there, and so lunch sucks, dinners are great. Is kind of how we're going to boil it down. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. I know you've got to tap out for a little bit and actually go to work. You're going to be back on with us around 6 o'clock. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com will join us at 5 o'clock. We've got some Spurs news, and we'll get into the Simone Biles situation as well as we continue here at our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage in Oxnard, brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Ewald Kubota. Again, Mickey Spagnola at 5 o'clock. Injuries do happen. So if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries, and he has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There's no reason to be in pain. So if you're hurting, visit Dr. Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. You can schedule an appointment by calling 210-804-5490, 804-5490, or learn more online, tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
Score $1,000 in summer cash. Enter the winning keyword, Lake, L-A-K-E, Lake, at sasportstar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
If you're rethinking your office, retail, or warehouse space for your business, the last thing you want to do is overpay the landlord, but it happens every day. I'm Scott McMurray at Bottom Line Realty Advisors here in San Antonio, and we work with business people like you who want to have an effective strategy for their next real estate decision, whether it's leasing or buying a building. Your landlord has representation, and you should too. Even if you're a good tenant with no plans to move at all, you're the most vulnerable to getting a really bad deal. Here at Bottom Line Realty Advisors, we only represent you, never landlords. If you're rethinking your office, retail, or warehouse lease, we'll help you negotiate from a position of strength.
Having Bottom Line Realty on your side doesn't cost you a dime. Contact Bottom Line Realty Advisors at 210-535-7800 and tell them Dave sent you.
Bottom Line Realty Advisors. We get the landlord off your bottom line.
More people are driving than ever before. That means a higher risk of you getting into an accident. Call My Collision Center first. Our professionals use original, not aftermarket generic parts at no extra cost to you. Aftermarket parts will bring your vehicle's value down. Your safety and satisfaction is My Collision Center's top priority. We work for you. We provide a written lifetime warranty and invoice verifying parts are factory original. If you have an accident and you want factory parts at no extra cost to you, choose My Collision Center.
Rob Thompson here for Twin Peaks. I don't know which way you're driving, but you better face your car toward a Twin Peaks. 3 locations just sitting and waiting on you. And oh, what a great time to head over to Twin Peaks. You know, if you want to watch it, it's going to be on TV. And when you're there sitting in a man cave watching your favorite events, whether it be all the soccer games that are going on, the playoffs that have just completed, you got Olympics every day, and it can only be made better by one of those barrel-aged bourbons and a beautiful iced ball. That's right. Twin Peaks knows how to serve you bourbon, and they have a party to do it every Friday. It's Bourbon and Brews. Don't forget about happy hour. It happens every day. Head over to Twin Peaks, 151 and 410. Days of All and I-10. You know, that's my home field in the Park North location. Now, you head over to Twin Peaks to hang with folks like mine, but you don't often think about the fantastic food that is coming out of that scratch kitchen. They're making it for you when you order it, and they change the menu, pretty regularly to make sure they keep you interested. Seasonal treats are always around. The Summer Olympics are on. National Tequila Day is just around the corner, followed very quickly by Scotch. Yeah, National Scotch Day. Twin Peaks is open and waiting on you. We know why you head over there. It's on the TV. It's coming out of the kitchen. It's 29-degree cold beer. But why do you go? It's those scenic views.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
2 teams, 22 players, and over 100,000 screaming maniacs. Your home for Cowboys football on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Rudy J on your home for Cowboys football, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Back here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minnix in Oxnard, California for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage. It starts early in the morning out here in Oxnard with Rudy J and Rob Thompson on R&R in the morning. Are they doing okay out here? Because it's 5 to 8 out here. You know, they pick me up for breakfast about 8:30. I have no idea if they're killing it in the mornings here. I've been listening last week for week 1, but Pledge, are they doing okay?
Oh, they're doing good. The first day they were kind of timid, so there was a lot of it. Almost sounded like whispering. They felt more at ease today.
Well, I don't know if they were whispering or still half asleep. See, we got here Sunday and. We introduced Rudy J to Cowboys training camp in a good way. Mm-hmm. Last night, in the 10 years that I've been coming out here to Dallas Cowboys training camp, all the trips that I have taken with Rob Thompson, that might have been the earliest night we've ever had to go home. I mean, we were up at this place in Ventura. It was brewery. I forget what it was called. But about 8:30, Rob was like, I think I'm ready. I was like, what? It's still daylight. It's like, well, we'll wait till sunset. And we got back, and I think it was about 9:30 by the time we got back to the hotel. Now, I don't know what to do at 9:30. I mean, it's normally 11 midnight. Now, I respect that they are getting up at an ungodly hour, but sometimes you got to push through. I've never gone back that early. I mean, that might have been the first time I ever felt like I was traveling with my parents. Like, all right, well, now we've got to go do something because, we're back at the hotel before 10. I called my wife and said we were back. She thought something was wrong. It's like, yeah, no, we're back at the hotel. She's like, what? Everything okay? And then I realized quickly, because I wasn't ready to go, we've got one rent car.
Mm-hmm.
So they get the car keys in the morning, or they get it at the end of the night, right? Because, I'm not going to wake up and drive them. I'm not going to, and I don't want them to wake me up going, hey, dude, you've got the key. So then I realized I was stuck. And sure, I go down to the lobby and I asked the lady there if she was there a bar within walking distance. Now you got to realize we're probably not in the best part of whatever city where that hotel was in. The closest bar is 2.5 miles away past the Walmart, but she said I don't know that I'd walk it. And then I looked at Uber was like 38 minutes away, so I just stayed in. Although she was very nice, she was like, you could DoorDash beer. A lot of people do that here.
Really?
I'm going to be very intrigued as to what Friday morning show sounds like.
Friday morning is going to be an interesting show. I know you're intrigued by it. I have a feeling that it's going to be Carl Schoening and James Pledger on R&R in the morning on Friday.
Oh, man.
I'm just saying that is.
You mean I'm not going back to my normal schedule?
You might on Thursday. I just on Friday. I just have a feeling there might only be one R if one of them shows up. Friday, because our Thursday night plans are going to be legendary.
I'm aware.
Or if we could figure out how to make this thing work from the hotel, I think that certainly could be a possibility as well. Could they just set it up inside the hotel room and go from there? Because the players have a day off, which is part of the reason why Thursday night is going to be legendary. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Before we go to break, Pledge, Cleto Rodriguez has been a good personal friend and a good friend of the radio station for a long, long, long time. One of the 3 Houston Texans fans in San Antonio, and he's going through a rough time right now. Apparently, COVID's got him right now in the ICU. I saw April Ancira start a GoFundMe for Cleto Rodriguez because if you follow him on News 4, you realize several months ago he was no longer working at the TV station. So you think about your insurance situation, your income situation. Well, but not only does Cleto have it, but his whole family, his wife, his in-laws, but he's in ICU right now. So first off, thoughts and prayers to Cleto Rodriguez, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery. But that GoFundMe is up on April's page. I shared it on my Facebook page. If you can, hit that page and help them out because, we all hear about it, but when it hits a friend of yours, it hits a little bit different.
Yeah, I also shared it on my page, and I had no clue. I knew the GoFundMe had been started, and I started sharing it for Cleto, and I was unaware that it was COVID related.
Yeah, COVID and in ICU, and with his already diabetes and other health issues that he have, just pulling for a speedy recovery. But he needs a little help right now if you are so inclined. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com is standing on the other side of the tent right now. He'll join us here on the Blitz as we continue from our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage here in Oxnard, California. Don't really need an AC out here in Oxnard, but I know you need one in San Antonio. And if your AC goes out, there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. AC issue, plumbing issues, they are experts at worst case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A+ ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. You need them? 210-651-5899 is the phone number. 651-5899 or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
Summer is all about the sunshine. Baseball's All-Star Game. Getting wet to cool off. And patiently waiting for football season to get here. Pass the time and win some summer cash. We're giving away $1,000 each weekday. Listen for the winning keyword at 7, 10, 1, 4, and 6. And enter that keyword at sasportstar.com. Money to buy those season tickets you've been wanting to score. Official rules online at sasportstar.com. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, inviting you to come out and enjoy patio season. We have newly remodeled patios, garage doors, and everything else you need to enjoy this great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks. Happy hours daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And our kitchen is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. See you soon at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road.
Hi, Tom Bodette for Motel 6, leaving the light on for the three-dimensional soccer fan. Those cardboard cutouts were feeling a little flat. They didn't even yell goal for as long as possible when we finally scored. Well, while the cardboard U is packed away, the real you can head to the next road game. Motel 6 will help you get back into the action with clean, comfortable rooms at a great low rate. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
School's out for summer! But if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. Their manual processes, integration difficulties, and glitchy delays will leave you scrambling for the numbers you need. Failing to graduate to NetSuite will leave you stuck in summer school while your friends party. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system. No matter how big your business grows, with visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more, NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. Automate your processes with NetSuite and close your books in no time. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since graduating to NetSuite. Special financing is back. NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program to those ready to graduate.
Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
Tune in to the Blitz today for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Catch up on the latest injuries and how it'll affect your team. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online at tsaog.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
This is the home of the Cowboys, Rangers, and Aggie football. KCDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Our boys are joining the boys. Cowboys Training Camp, live from Oxnard, California.
Welcome back to the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix as we continue our Cowboys training camp coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Joined now by Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com. Mickey, man, thanks for stopping by. I know if somebody's watching on our Facebook Live or YouTube, we are sitting at the same table.
Yes.
But with socially distant things now.
We're safe.
We've got to be at the other end.
That's funny.
I mean, we had Jerry Jones. It was the same thing yesterday.
So where did Jerry sit where I'm sitting?
He is sitting right where
Or did he have to be on the other side of the fence?
He was allowed to be on this side of the fence, and he could sit there. And then it was, it's Jerry, right? So we know what the rules are coming in, and then of course he wants to come in, shake hands, and are we breaking? It just and there is that weird sense to everything, isn't there?
Yeah, no, there is, and not as weird as it was last year, right? So it's a little bit better this year, but there's still some restrictions that we got to follow. The players got to follow. The team has to follow. The other day they had a couple people from the NFL coming here to check things out to see how they were running and making sure the Cowboys were following all the protocols, because there's not very many teams that are doing this away from their home facility. 4 of them. Right? Yeah. And 2 of them are going right now. So the NFL didn't have anything else to pay attention to except the Steelers and the Cowboys. So they were being very careful on everything, making sure they were doing things right.
And one of the things that they did is make sure all the media gets their steps in daily.
Yes.
I can tell you, Rob Thompson's watch wondered who stole it, man, because like, who is this?
Yeah, a lot of walking. And for us, too, because we're, all but 2 or 3 of people in our department, and that includes the internet, television, they're tier 2, so they can go through here like we're used to going through. The rest of us all the way around. So, they want to, I guess, keep us. I don't know if they're trying to keep us away from the players or keeping the players away from us.
It might be a combination of both. And you think about getting everybody vaccinated.
Right.
And I know obviously Jerry wants to see that happen. I assume Mike McCarthy wants to see, all of it. If he can't get 100%, there's that 85% number, but people want to exceed that. And you got to figure if the teams that are better on the vaccination rates, less risk that they're going to lose players for X number of games. And so there is a competitive advantage for having a team that's fully vaccinated. I don't know if you heard Ron Rivera earlier today talking about the frustration he is dealing with because of the Washington football team's low vaccination numbers. And I don't know where they are, but Ron Rivera certainly doesn't sound happy.
I am. I'm truly frustrated. I'm beyond frustrated, and part of it is, and the reason I walked in with the mask on is, I'm immune deficient. Okay, so with this new variant, who knows? So when I'm in a group and the group's not vaccinated or there's a mixture, I put the mask on, and I do that, for health reasons, because nobody really knows. And so I have to do that. And I just wish and I hope that our guys can understand that.
Are you surprised, Mickey, that throughout the league, with the NFL can't force players to get vaccinated, but they've certainly made it very uncomfortable for them not to be, that more and more guys haven't just followed the science?
I'm shocked because, and I think Michael Irvin said it best when he found out that the Cowboys weren't more than 60 or 70% of the players vaccinated. And he said, aren't you trying to do everything you can do to make this team successful? And if you're not getting vaccinated, then you're not all in. And I don't, and he didn't need to be politically correct, right?
Sure.
And Ron Rivera, that's the first time I've seen a coach not straddle the line. Mike McCarthy has said, yeah, we want to do this, we want to get this, but it's a personal decision, and so they can't really mandate it, right? But they sure can suggest it, because I don't know if you've talked about all the things that the guys that are unvaccinated have to go through, like getting tested every morning. They can't leave the facility here. They can't have friends come visit them in the front. They have to eat in their rooms. They got to do grab and go. There's just enough things that are kind of a nuisance that you would think it's enough incentive to run down to CVS right now and get vaccinated, right? And I heard Michael Gallup. They asked him, "Have you been vaccinated?" And he said, "Yeah." He didn't hesitate, right? He didn't give no HIPAA stuff or anything. And somebody said, "Well, what was your motivation?" And he goes, "When I play a game, I like to afterwards be able to be with my family and friends. And that was incentive enough for me to get vaccinated." So it had nothing to do with the science or keeping himself safe. He wanted to be able to do the things that he normally does during the week and after games. And you would think that's the way everybody would think, but no, not quite so much.
And it's not. And, I think about what Zeke said. Yeah, he was vaccinated, but he grew up in a family where they didn't believe in
Right.
vaccinations. He dealt with COVID last year. Is not going to be a reason they have to miss games or whatever. Dak didn't want to answer the questions and cited HIPAA. And here I'm thinking, you're the leader of this football team. You are the leader.
But what he
set
tells
the tone.
what he tells us and what he tells them could be two different things.
Absolutely.
Right. And this stuff about citing the HIPAA is that whoever's got the results of the vaccine can't out you. You could out yourself.
Well, that's it. But I'm thinking, I get an injury report every day.
Well, just think and just think about what these guys go through to keep themselves healthy or to keep themselves on the field, right? They'll take a shot, right? They're deaden something so they can go play.
Numb it up, let's go.
They ain't worried about that, right? So I don't know how this is different because I think when we all start school, we got vaccinated and there was no argument about it. There was no political side or for or against. I don't understand it. All I know is I was old enough to be kind of first in line to get it, and I raised my hand and said, absolutely.
Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com with us here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Pads go on tomorrow. You've been out here since day one. We got out here Sunday, got to watch a solid walkthrough today, the last one without pads. Well, it was full practice.
Yeah.
Walkthrough later just for the technical term of things. Mike McCarthy said today, we've looked really good in the underwear. Pads go on tomorrow. What do you expect to see different tomorrow?
Oh, I thought today the competition towards the end of practice really went up. And I would imagine it goes up even more tomorrow when the pads come on because, you can't hit anybody. The offensive lineman, defensive lineman can't do what they do, right? I think coming into this, I always thought this was going to be a very competitive training camp, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I think we're starting to see that, right? Where some guy steps up today, another guy the next day, the day before. But now, can you be consistent once the pads come on? But I think that you'll see the competition ramp up. And when you're practicing against everybody and you're practicing against your friends, don't you try harder almost, right? No, my buddy's not beating me, right? And so, I think the competition escalates.
When you look at the defensive side of things, Malik Hooker, that signing was made official today. We saw him on the practice field wearing jersey number 28. I don't know if he'll be able to go tomorrow and what the process is. He's passed all the COVID protocols, but the rehab part coming off the Achilles injury, the fact that he came in for a visit in March and they didn't sign him and he was still available to get signed now tells me that either he couldn't find a job or in March they said, when you can pass the physical, we will sign you. Maybe they had a gentleman's agreement. But what does the addition of Malik Hooker mean to this Cowboys defense if he can be the Malik Hooker prior to injury?
Yeah, and I think you're right on both accounts on why they didn't sign him in the first place was because he wasn't – he tore it in, I believe it was September 20th. So I guarantee you, and I can speak from experience, that he wasn't ready in March or April to go out there and show him that he could still play football. That's too soon. You need almost a year. And so now he's ready, but it also speaks volumes of, well, did anybody else want to take a look at him? Because the Cowboys let him walk away, or he walked away from them back then. And I'm sure at this point, when they're so snug against the salary cap, they didn't have to buy him, buy him out like, oh, okay, we're going to offer you this. It's probably, you're going to get this. Do you want it or not? Because it's July 27th and you don't have a job. And there's 31 other teams out there that got 90 guys on their roster. Do the math, and you're probably the 2,000th person out there, right? You're available. So we'll see what he can do. I don't think they signed him because they were already worried about the safety position with all the guys they did bring in, but they brought in everybody on a 1-year deal. And if it was a 2-year deal, they had the option on the second year. So from a salary cap standpoint, if it doesn't work out, they can take out the eraser and say, you charge us the signing bonus and we'll go on. So I think what it does is adds to the competition at the safety position, but alongside If this guy's as talented as he was when he was starting for the Colts, then you bring him in and take a look at him and let's see. Because, last year, remember, they brought in Clinton Dix, and everybody was, Clinton Dix. And he didn't last a week working with the first team and then didn't make it through training camp.
And that was actually, I was going to say, should I compare this to a signing, like hold your excitement and temper expectations until we actually see him on the field? Or is he just by nature further along and probably going to be more of an impactful guy? Like for that opener against Tampa Bay, could he be, or what percentage would you say he would be the starting safety?
Yeah, and I think at this point, no more than 50-50 because they signed DeMonte KZ, who, by the way, had a pick today in practice that took to the house.
Yep.
It was almost like, don't be bringing in no hooker, right?
Yeah.
And then also in practice, Maurice Kennedy was replacing Jordan Lewis in the slot, and he had a pick and a breakup, and it was almost like, okay, Jordan, don't be sitting out too many days because somebody might take your spot. And I would imagine if you can play in the slot, you might be able to play safety. And then they signed Jaron Kearse, who's been working with the first team. Donovan Wilson started last year. They drafted a safety. What was it, in the fifth round? McQuamu. So, again, he's not walking in and just saying, hey, I'm Malik Cooker, and I've got the starting free safety spot.
And Kennedy, 31.
Kennedy.
He flashed today.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
A kid out of Virginia. Look, I mean, and now, granted, pads aren't
and he
on
was
yet,
a guy, and he was a guy that opted out last year. His wife was pregnant. She was about a month away from giving birth to their son, and he decided, for family reasons, he said that, I decided to opt out.
Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com with us live out here in Oxnard. As we're on the tennis courts, they had their morning practice a couple hours ago. Everything here is different, from what we were used to. Yes, the routine, the layout, everything. So when they say morning practice, it kind of starts in the morning,
right?
Kind of, but it is very different. They do a walkthrough in the afternoon that media is not allowed to watch, which is very different. I asked Jerry Jones yesterday, last year we didn't come to training camp. Nobody did. And, we had Mike McCarthy on the phone every week, but, because of COVID, I didn't know what to expect from Mike McCarthy watching his practices and stuff. I'm surprised at the secrecy that he likes to operate under.
Yeah.
I mean, it in some ways reminds me of when we would go to Texans training camp when Bill O'Brien took over from Gary Kubiak. But Jerry loves the show. He loves having the media here. How is it the compromise between the two? Mike McCarthy's idea of the way practice and exposure should be versus Jerry's?
Well, I think that from a practice standpoint, he has no problem with us watching the real practice. I mean, even last year, when they did what he doesn't call it a walkthrough, he calls it a mock game. And they would be indoors at Ford Center, and we couldn't watch it. No, the media weren't allowed to watch it. So it's the same thing this year. I think he feels like that's private time, what they do, and it's more of a review, and it's almost like sneaking in on the classroom, right? And peeking in. So, but from I was told when he got here, we did middle of January, probably 2 weeks after he got hired, he did a big discussion with the reporters that covered the team on a daily basis. There was probably 14 of us in a conference room, and he sat at the head of the table, and we went around, introduced ourselves, and that was the last time until like 2 days before Thanksgiving that I actually saw him in person, because all the Zoom, and we never got to be around him, right? And
your office is there,
right?
Although I guess you probably weren't even going in, right?
No, we started going in the end of July when training camp started, but we weren't allowed on that side of the building, right? We were kind of quarantined into our own space, and he was pretty protective on the Zoom calls. But then when you get to know him, he kind of loosened up. And you heard him today, you know, when Todd asked him the question, I forgot exactly what it was. He goes, Todd, I can't give you everything, right? and I thought it was pretty funny. But he's loosened up quite a bit. I was told after we had that discussion with him in January of last year, I said, gosh, he was pretty good. And then he hung around and just shot the bull with us for an hour. And I was told, yeah, but the people I've talked to in Green Bay, that's not the way he is in the season. He doesn't like to give anything up. So he's kind of old school.
And again, I understand coaches are the way they are. I remember telling Jason Garrett one time that, why can't you act like this on the radio? Don't be so robotic, right? You know, we're at the podium, because if you got to know Jason watching him in practice or just talking,
you want to go to a ball game with him,
completely
right?
different guy.
Drink
There's
a beer with him. Yeah,
that he never lost his locker room. He just doesn't come across that way with media. I'm curious if you've kind of found the same with Mike McCarthy, although I think he's much better with the media.
He's been a little bit more revealing, but the closer you get to the season, the more he pulls back. So yeah, he's not going to give you much on an injury report. You know, there's a reason he does the press conference before practice, not after, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to wait till the next day to remember, okay, now there was something happened in practice I need to know about, you know, and you got to ask him the afterwards. Because you know what? When we were in San Antonio and Parcells was the head coach, you know, he would do his press conference after the morning practice. If I remember, I think it was before the morning practice. And then after the afternoon practice, there was no talking to him, right? And everybody thought Bill was great because Bill would go out on these tangents and tell all these stories and everybody's laughing. But he didn't tell us anything about the team. He wouldn't reveal anything, right?
Yeah,
and that's the way it was. And I'll give you the first year he was there, and we're in San Antonio. And I'm walking underneath in the Alamo Dome where our offices were, and I was going past the locker room, and the team was already on the field for the afternoon practice, right? And Larry Allen's in the locker room still. And it's like, oh, Larry's not practicing, right? And I didn't know if they had butted heads or whatever. And so after the practice was over, Bill was walking out the field, and he was going under one of those little exits under the stands that got into the balls. And I kind of sauntered over there, and I said, Bill, I said, Larry Allen not practicing today. And he didn't break stride or even recognize my presence, right? And he kept walking, and I said, Bill, I said, are you upset that Larry's not practicing today? He turned around, and in so many words that I'll clean up for you, he told me, you're not supposed to be talking to me after this practice. And he stomped off. And I said to myself, well, I think I got my answer, right?
Yes, you did.
So the next day, I'm sitting in the aisle in the room where he did his press conference, and he had to walk right by me to get to the podium. And he gets right by me, he sneers, and he goes, oh, there's the nose. And I go, what do you mean by that? And he goes, you're always nosing in everybody else's business. And I said, Bill, that's my job, right? I'm supposed to know what's going on. And after that, we got along famously. But if you allowed him to bully you, you were done. But if you stood your ground and got back at him, he loved it. It's almost like he lived for that, right? And so, but that's the way he was. But he got in there, and he had all the funny stories to tell. But he was sitting on that table like it was talking to your granddad, right? But there was a clock up on a thing on the ceiling, and he knew when his 20 minutes was up, right? And then he'd end story time with Bill.
Well, that's it. Tell stories. Don't ask questions. I'll take you guys on a tangent.
Yes.
He controlled everything.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, all of it, which the good coaches tend to do. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com joining us here on The Blitz. As we look back at this team, we talked earlier about the pads going on tomorrow. We figured the competition is going to be raised up. Was it because they were off yesterday, or knowing the pads are coming on, there was some enthusiasm, some energy that, quite frankly, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago at practice, you don't see in these kind of practices, the speed, the urgency from rep to rep?
I think one of and I don't know that this happened, but I'm guessing it might have. When you have an off day like that and the guys they're off, there's no meetings, nothing, right? And then you got to get back into swing of things. And a lot of times it's like the rest of us, Mondays aren't great if you get Saturday and Sunday off. It takes you a while to get back in the swing of things. And I think the coaches, knowing that about people, take a week off. What's the Monday like after your week off?
Sucks,
right? Yeah. And so I would imagine they ramped up what they were saying in their meetings before the practice. They ramped up the emotion to make sure that they weren't lethargic coming off that day off. And they created more competitive situations. Hey, it's 3rd and 5, 13 seconds to go. You got one timeout. You're on the 15-yard line. You got to score a touchdown to tie the game. And they had all those different little scenarios like that to put them in. And suddenly the competition went, woo, let's go. And they were yakking at each other at one play. The second team offense was there. I think Danucci was at quarterback. Something happened, and Dak's yelling at the defense, the guys on the sideline, and they were going back and forth. That's what you want, and that's what you need. And they're only in helmets, jerseys, and shorts, right? So now when the pads come on, I'm thinking tomorrow, all right, let's see what goes on.
It's going to be fun. A lot of chirping for sure,
yes.
and a lot of energy. Dan Quinn, I don't know how many monsters he has before he goes out there for practice, but seems like more than one or 8 cups of coffee or whatever it might be. Too early to tell, but what are the biggest differences you've seen from the defensive side?
First difference is it looks like they're more organized. Guys understand what their responsibilities are. I think today was the first time in team period that I saw a busted coverage or two, because there have been very few mistakes. And if you look back at the season last year, they were terrible on defense. But a lot of their problems were busted coverages. They just didn't know their assignments, or they were confused. Yeah, the communication looks a lot better so far. Now, the tight end, it was Jarwin first and then Schultz. And when they were in team, they ended up wide open for touchdowns from in the red zone. And I saw the two linebackers looking at each other like, was that you or was that me? I think it was you. And the guy, no, I think it was you, right? And so they were confused. But other than that, they've been pretty sharp on assignment. And so that, number one. Number two, I think he's done a better job of putting guys in situations where they can succeed. I thought last year moving Leighton Vander Esch from the outside to inside was wrong. Jalen Smith is not a weak side linebacker. He can't run well enough to do that. So he's got guys in better positions, and he's not afraid to play young guys either, by the way. If you earn the spot, you're in there. It's not like deference to the veteran guy. And the other thing I've noticed is that he's trying to play more matchup defense. He wants to put personnel on the field to match what the offense is doing. So it's almost like basketball. Mm-hmm. Okay, I need a guy to guard that guy. Well, you're in the game, right? Well, same thing going on here. And then that's how he answered the question. You've got it's seemingly depth on defense. How are you going to get all these guys on the field? And his answer is basically, we're going to play a lot of different personnel groups, and that'll allow more guys to get involved. So I've seen that. And then you're right about his enthusiasm. Give you a quick story from the rookie mini camp. When you don't have enough guys to facilitate 11 on offense, 11 on defense, right? So at one point on defense, Quinton Bohanna, their 6th round draft choice, the defensive tackle, who is large, by the way, 6'4", 330, and he moves like a tight end. He got dinged and he came out, and they kind of looked around and they didn't have another defensive tackle. So Quinn turned his hat backwards and went out and lined up as the defensive tackle, right? And he played for 2 plays, and then Bohannon walks in and taps out the coach. He goes, nice. Coach, I got this.
Look, man, it's rookie minicamp. You can't
right?
Can't miss time here.
No.
It's now a job. That is for sure. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com. Always fun catching up with you. I know we do it randomly throughout the year and here at training camp. We need to do this every week.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And sounds like we might, right?
I think we are.
You can might arrange that.
Yeah, I think we could do that. Now with all the different changes we've had at the radio station, we need to make that happen.
Okay, well, I'll be glad to do it. And, I learned back from when we went to training camp in San Antonio, and I never understood, like, Jerry, what are we going to San Antonio for? And he understood, and I found out the amount of Cowboy fans in San Antonio. So it'll be great to be with them during the season.
Jerry, last time we had Jerry on this show was the first year Dat Win was co-hosting with me, and we were out here. And he said then that there are more Cowboy fans in San Antonio per capita than in the Metroplex. And I asked him about that yesterday because he was talking about some numbers. He said that's still true. When you think about per capita, this is Dallas Cowboy country. I mean, there's a reason we've wrapped ourselves in the star,
yes,
San Antonio Sports Star with our rebranding. I mean, it is Dallas Cowboy country for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and I know I found it out when I was there for training camp. And even though we were sequestered in the Alamo Dome, it might have been 72 degrees, but we didn't see the sun, right?
I was mad when they first left the dome. Now, I remember when, we tried putting fake grass in the parking lot.
Oh,
and Emmitt Smith was like, the hell with this. We're not doing that.
They didn't. I don't think they made it a half hour. And I remember asking somebody, is this going to work? Oh, yeah. The guy said he can grow grass in the parking lot. Well, he did grow grass.
It did, yeah,
but it wasn't grass you could play on.
Emmitt wasn't. I mean, I remember Emmitt walked out there and was like, we're not doing this.
We're out of here.
As great as it was for the city.
Right.
I was mad when they left until I came out here, and not because it's a great week for us on a business trip, but when you come to this facility and those two football fields that are out there and everything that goes in it, this just makes perfect sense. It was like this whole complex was built just for that. It has turned into that, but the footprint would be what you would design if you were going, all right, if we need a place to go. And then, of course, the weather and everything else that comes along with it. And there might be a couple of Cowboy fans out here in California, too.
There are a few Cowboy fans out here. And the Cowboys had figured it out a long time ago. I think it was 63 on. They were in Thousand Oaks, which is about 20 minutes up the road. On the 101.
But somehow 30 degrees warmer.
Yes, it was much warmer because there wasn't the breeze coming off the ocean, right? We're 3 miles from the ocean. Well, I remember, so we'd be in Thousand Oaks when I first got there starting to do training camp, and they were going to come here to practice against the Raiders. So the Raiders found this place, and the fields were there. The hotel was different. It wasn't the Residence Inn. It was kind of a 5-story hotel, but they practice here. So we came the first time I did it, and Al Davis had like 8-foot fence around the whole practice field, and he had the black windscreen so you couldn't see through. And we showed up in our T-shirts and shorts, and it was an afternoon practice, and all of a sudden the marine layer came in, and now what we were used to mid-80s, all of a sudden it's 60 degrees, and we're freezing our little heinies off, right? Mm-hmm. And but when the Cowboys came back, it changed. It was a hotel. So if people don't know, we walk 50 yards that way and you're in your room. You go 50 yards the other way, you're on the practice field. The locker room's right behind us. The weight room's right behind. It's just so convenient. And it's 72 degrees. And when you woke up this morning, or when I woke up, it was 63 degrees. Mm-hmm. And it's like your biggest decision usually every day is short sleeves or long sleeves in the morning.
It's the idea that, all right, I'm shorts and short sleeve now. Have a hoodie ready to go.
Yes,
because you're going to need it all throughout the day. I mean, I bring a lot of clothes out here because throughout the day the seasons seem to change.
And then even yesterday, and it never happens, right? It rained.
It rained.
And it's like it's not supposed to rain in Southern California. I think I heard that song.
It is not. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com. Always appreciate the time. We'll do it again on a weekly throughout the NFL season.
All righty. Thanks, Jason.
As we continue on the Blitz here at Cowboys at training camp, new offensive lineman Ty Secchi is going to join us. An incredible story. If you go back to the San Antonio Talons days and beyond, he'll be on with us. We'll also talk some Spurs news as the NBA has announced some key dates for the upcoming season. You know, you and your family deserve the best water quality. Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. While we can't control the quality of the water supply that comes to your home, you can't control the quality that comes through it. You don't want to wait until you think something is wrong with your water to call Alamo Water Softeners. They'll come out to your house, give you a free estimate, test your water for free, and right now you can get free basic installation with the purchase of select new water softeners. They're great at what they do. Locally owned, family-run business that was voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite on the Nextdoor app. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, and in the NFL, Deshaun Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, has told ESPN that 10 women have filed complaints to the Houston Police Department against Watson, including 2 that were not involved in the original civil suits against them. In college football, the Longhorns and Sooners officially notified the Big 12 in a joint statement they will not renew their grant of rights agreement with the league when it expires in 2025, and they're expected to apply for SEC membership. In Major League Baseball, the Astros blew a 7-0 lead in their opener against the Seattle Mariners, falling 11-8, a series they'll continue tonight at 9:10, while the Rangers return to action after the day off, looking to snap a 12-game losing streak when they take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. First pitch is set for 7:05, a game you can catch right here on your home for Rangers baseball. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
By calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Benito's line cook just threw in his kitchen towel.
This order needs to go out right now.
He needs to find help before his customers are left waiting.
So sorry. We'll be right with you. Who's got table 6?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The thing about the Name Your Price tool from Progressive is that by now you've heard a lot of ads about the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. We probably don't even need the words, the Name Your Price tool, to tell you that our humpback whale pup gives you options based on your budget, or that our novelty hand buzzer helps you save on car insurance. And that's the thing about the tiny felt bag filled with marbles. At this point, you've heard a lot of ads about the elusive northern bobcat. The Name Your Price tool, the neighbor who baked you banana bread, only from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Owning a business comes with pressure. There's a limit to what I can do and still keep employees engaged. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR experience to work to help me with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance, while giving my employees competitive benefit options. And because I'm able to focus on other priorities, my employees can thrive and my business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
It's summer. That means grilling season. Jason and Rob here for Tri-County Meat Market. Get into one of their 2 locally owned Tri-County meat markets for the best meat for your grill. Tri-County has carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice, including their own homegrown Wagyu.
Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game, from beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. Stock up on that 5 for $25 Tri-County Meat Market on Ralph Fair Road over on Heavener or online at tricountymmeat.com.
Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Maybe you're watching on Facebook Live or on the YouTube channel. SASportsStar.com is the website. You could go there, upload a photo of what's on your grill. Could win $50 on Thursday, grilling with the Blitz. $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. It is kind of strange not to plan anything for your grill this week, but you know, that's kind of how it is when you're traveling for work. You can always dial us up on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 on Twitter. I am at Jason Minix. James Pledger is at I Am Pledger. Dude's been there since, I don't know, 5:30 this morning at the radio station. Anybody driving around want to take him something to eat? Energy drink? He might need it. Because then I saw he posted on his Instagram, his story. He was in the gym at 3:30 getting his workout in.
Yeah.
You're insane.
No, it's
insane.
It gives me energy. And right now I need the energy to get through the day. Because I quit energy drinks.
I know you did. For now. I know you did. Thursday is the NBA draft. Spurs have a lottery pick, but not the one that we want. All the talk and, is Cade going to go number 1 or could he, all that kind of stuff. It's a couple of days before the draft. So I'm not surprised to hear a whole bunch of stories involving the Spurs. And when I say stories, I mean rumors, or I mean somebody typed something out on Twitter and hit send, and Spurs Twitter then goes nuts trying to react to it, including one today that said San Antonio is still a possibility for DeMar DeRozan. It's not. It's not. You heard him on Club Shay Shay? You heard him tell Shannon Sharp he's chasing a ring, that he's made a lot of money in his NBA career.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but respect for Pop, but he ain't coming back. I mean, he's not. No.
That somebody was Marcus J. Spears, by the way. ESPN's undefeated.
He ain't coming back. I mean, unless everybody else says no, and he needs a place to stay, he ain't coming back. Unless he does a sign and trade with San Antonio, which means he isn't coming back. But if he does a sign and trade, that's good for him financially. That's going to be good for the San Antonio Spurs because you get something in return. So when I see Mark Spears talk about the Lakers and the Clippers and the Knicks and the Bulls, that I say the Bulls, James Pledger all of a sudden having some sort of adult dream going, oh my God, that's actually going to happen. He could barely control himself because for months, James Pledger's greatest dream is a Lauri Markkanen in a sign and trade with DeMar DeRozan.
That would be great. He's a restricted free agent. It works.
You are speaking it into existence. You've done it. Now, we're not there yet. But when I saw, all right, I think he'll be really good with the Knicks, and he would fit what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's from L.A., so pick your L.A. team that he would be a good fit for. LeBron, what's he going to do? But then all of a sudden, the Bulls and the Spurs on that list. The only reason why they're on that list is because maybe is his agent talking to both of the teams, trying to broker this sign and trade. Because first off, why else would you be talking to San Antonio? If you're Brian Wright, haven't you told DeMar's reps, if you guys can broker a trade, man, just bring it to us.
I'm not going to spend, if I'm Brian Wright, I am not spending any time trying to figure out what I can do with DeMar. Not now, because the trade deadline passed. Now it's up to DeMar's team to come to the Spurs with an offer that the Spurs find acceptable.
And here's the great thing is that Lauri's a restricted free agent. They are actively or have actively tried to trade him at the deadline before. And I think DeMar would fit great with Vucevic and Zach LaVine and Kobe White and what Chicago's building there. Plus, you think about his brand, being a fashion guy. Chicago's a big market city. I mean, it fits. It's just not LA.
It's not LA, but I mean, he's probably got some coats left from being in Toronto. So I mean, he'll be fine. And again, the problem with Chicago is he told Club Shay Shay he wants to win. And Chicago is no closer to winning a championship than the San Antonio Spurs. So, not to ruin the dream you were having, not to wake you up before it's over, but I just don't see that happening unless it actually is all about the money.
How many people say it's not about the money and turn around and take the money?
I mean, and that happens a lot of time, but I mean, you look at the amount of money that dude has made, it's there. Marlo on Facebook Live says, what about Miami? I said very early on, I thought he would be a good fit in Miami. And I still think he would be. But for a team that was in the NBA finals just last year, granted, bubble finals, but they were in the finals last year, to look how far they've dropped off. They're no closer to win a title than Chicago. And I say that partly, you look in the East right now, you're defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. Are they going back-to-back? No. Because the Brooklyn Nets are going to get stronger. They're going to have better chemistry next season. If they're healthy, and I think that goes without saying, if they're healthy, the Brooklyn Nets are going to be favored. Then you have that team that Doc Rivers is coaching. Yeah, they were pretty good this year. What are they going to get for Ben Simmons? That's only going to make them a better basketball team. The Hawks, they caught fire last year. Can they stay hot? Trae Young is a superstar. They're going to be good. Whom else am I forgetting?
The Celtics?
It's interesting. I'm not sure what to expect with the Boston Celtics when I think about teams that I think have, those 4 or 5 that are going to be really good and NBA Finals worthy. And I think part of that is until their roster is set, the potential is there, but I wouldn't put them in ink if Saturday when my layover's in Vegas and I make it to a sports book because I missed the flight back to San Antonio and have to randomly spend the night. And I am at a sport. I wouldn't put $1 on Boston winning, right? I mean, that just wouldn't happen. So I don't know until their roster is complete that I would put them there. Although I'm excited for Ime Udoka, but I'm not ready to say they're there. So I think you've got 4 or 5 teams ahead of Miami and certainly ahead of the Bulls. So if you're DeMar DeRozan and it's about winning the Knicks, I would put ahead of Miami and the Bulls right now as far as a team that is closer to a championship. And they're not close.
The Knicks? Like, I understand they were the 4 seed this year, but it was a team that kind of caught fire in a weird year. And
Knicks
how often are Tibbs teams overperform and then woefully underperform?
I mean, there might be a history there, but again, I think I think they are closer than Boston and Miami. Not close to winning a championship, just closer to those guys. You see what I'm saying? Okay. I'm not putting them on my list of teams that I think can go win the title by any stretch. But are they ahead of Miami and Boston, which has Chicago? A lot of people are linking DeMar to that. Don't tell me you want to win a title and end up in Miami. That tells me you want to make a whole lot of money and live at the beach.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. Not everybody is going to win a title. There is a new member of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm partial. I'll be very, very honest here. I hope he makes the team. He's 35, 36 years old. He's been through hell and back. Ty Inseki and his story about where he is right now and his journey to the NFL is incredible. 4 or 5 different colleges, 4 or 5 different jails. I got to know Ty when he was with the San Antonio Talons. And then he left the Talons to go play for the Indianapolis Colts, got signed to their practice squad. And he has turned this in to an NFL career. A guy that at one point you didn't know if he would get his life together enough to be anything more than a bouncer, has turned into a solid NFL player, has made millions after a contract with Washington and then a contract with the Buffalo Bills. And now he's in Dallas. A kid from the Metroplex, grew up in Arlington, has a star on his helmet, and a good kid that has had one of the more remarkable journeys to a long NFL career. Ty Nsekhe is going to join us next here on The Blitz. But first, I got to tell you about Kielbasa. You know how much I love talking about Kielbasa and all the great products they have there at Kielbasa Smoked Meats. But what you might not know, their sausage popular all over the country, but they always take care of their hometown of San Antonio. In fact, this year alone, Kielbasa has donated more than 2 tons of sausage to the San Antonio Food Bank. And the sausage they're donating, it's premium sausage. They put it in a special label designed to provide encouragement for people who are going through hard times. And they call this program their Links of Love program. And through this program, Kielbasa hopes to nourish people in need through local food banks and disaster relief efforts. So when you buy Kielbasa, you can feel great that not only are you enjoying some of the best sausage available at every grocery store, you're also helping support our San Antonio community. Learn more about Kielbasa's Links of Love program at their website, kielbasa.com. And when you're in the grocery store, make sure you get yourself some Kielbasa today.
Our shoes have more miles on them than your car does. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, do us all a favor and get them fixed. Jason Minnick's here for New Brakes. NUBrakes.com is the website. New Brakes is a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you to fix your brakes. We're all busy. None of us want to deal with the hassle of waiting hours at a repair shop or dropping the car off and then having to go get it the next day or later that day. New Brakes, they come to you. That's the beauty of New Brakes. They provide convenient and affordable brake repairs, and they only fix brakes. You're not going to get upsells like at a traditional repair shop. They only use premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. If your brakes are bad, go to NUBrakes.com. Schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN. If your brakes are bad, you got to get them done. Get them done with New Brakes. They're great at what they do. Go read all those 5-star reviews and schedule your repair now at NUBrakes.com. That's NUBrakes.com. If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, get them fixed. Hi, Jason Minnick's here for New Brakes, NUBrakes.com. They're a mobile brake shop. That means they come to you to fix your brakes. We're all busy. None of us have time to go spend hours waiting at a repair shop or want to deal with the hassle of dropping your car off and going back to get it the next day. That is the beauty of New Brakes. They come to you. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs, and they only fix brakes, so you won't get the upsells like at a traditional repair shop. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. They use premium brake parts and back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go to NUBrakes.com. Schedule that repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. You need your brakes done? Get them done with New Brakes. You continue to do what you do while New Brakes fixes your brakes, and they're great at what they do. Go read all the 5-star reviews and schedule your repair at NUBrakes.com. That's NUBrakes.com.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer WetJet. With Swiffer WetJet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer WetJet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you spend hard-earned money on a designer watch and that watch breaks, don't you want it repaired with the same designer parts? The same goes for your car after an accident. Your safety and full satisfaction is My Collision Center's top priority. My Collision Center works for you. Our professionals use original, not aftermarket generic parts that will bring your vehicle's value down. If you have an accident and you want factory parts at no extra cost to you, choose My Collision Center.
And now, a man's thoughts on San Antonio Sports Star. What were you thinking? That escalated quickly. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Don't mind the brake lights. We'll get you there. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome back to the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp continues. I'm Jason Minix on the tennis courts with former San Antonio talent, now Dallas Cowboy, Ty Inseki. Ty, man, congratulations. I think about your journey to where you are now, having a star on your helmet, man. Tell me about it.
Oh man, it's like bringing it full circle. Starting off with the Vigilantes of the Arena League, and 10 years later coming to the Cowboys, your hometown team. It's a dream come true.
And I think about when you signed with Washington, and I was thinking, man, I know you grew up in Arlington in the Dallas area to sign there, but just for you to fulfill that NFL dream, I know you went to the Colts training camp, got released. Can you name all the teams you actually played for?
In the NFL?
No, in life. I mean, all the different. Well,
right.
First off, because Texas State gets credit for you, but that was 1 year, if I remember right, with Manny Matsakis. You went to a number of teams. Can you name them all?
Texas State, Tarleton State, Northwest Oklahoma State, Corpus Christi Sharks, Arena 2, Dallas Vigilantes Arena, Philadelphia Soul, San Antonio Talons, Indianapolis Colts, St. Louis Rams, New Orleans Saints, Washington Redskins, Buffalo Bills, and now Dallas Cowboys.
Well, that's incredible. Now, if I remember right, didn't you spend some time in the Canadian League, and then you were with the LA? How about too many teams to name? Your journey, your story, even before you actually made it into pro football. And I don't want to get into some of the issues you had as a very young man, because you are not that person anymore. But when you think about your story to the NFL, when you're talking to young kids, do you bring that up to them?
Oh, most definitely. It's a story of vigilance and just dedication. Never giving up, determination. Just keeping the grind.
When you signed that first big money deal, and at any point, I remember when you were with the Talons, and they paid you pretty good for what it was at the time, but then you get minimum salary NFL money for a kid that grew up in the situation you did. That must have been incredible. When you signed that massive deal with the Buffalo Bills, I don't want to ask how did it change your life, but my goodness, man, the dream come true. Do you still pinch yourself every day?
Most definitely. You know, especially now that I got this star on my helmet. You know, it's just every night I go to sleep. You know, it's just amazing how God put me in the place that I'm in today. Just coming from where I've come from. You know, it's just a beautiful thing, a beautiful journey, beautiful struggle.
A beautiful journey, beautiful struggle. That is a great way to put it. You look at it coming to the Dallas Cowboys, and last year that offensive line dealt with a ton of injuries. When you became a free agent, did you have other options, or was it, I want to go to Dallas because I think I can get a chance to play there?
I have a few other options, but, you know, most definitely I wanted to come here and, you know, help this team get to a Super Bowl, help us win the division, get to the playoffs, and, you know, ultimately win the Super Bowl. That was the goal coming in free agency.
You look at the offensive line on the depth chart. I believe you're behind LC. You know, he's had injury issues. Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, those veteran Pro Bowl players. And you've been around a long time. What are you learning from that group? How is that offensive line room?
Oh, you know, it's a close-knit group, like most offensive line groups in the NFL. So, you know, just trying to come in and fit in and just do my job to the best of my ability. And, you know, when my number is called, do what I'm called to do.
Absolutely. What's it like being in a room with some of those guys?
Oh, man, you know, it's a great thing. Being in there with Hall of Fame guys, you know, it's always great to see how they practice, see how they work hard, just to steal some of their techniques and some of their work ethic. You know, I had a chance to play with, alongside a Hall of Famer, you know, a future Hall of Famer in Trent. So just coming here and Tyron and Zach, you know, and they, you know, basically the same type caliber of players. It's just it's a beautiful thing. I can steal some of the techniques and add them to my game.
No, you've been around. Training camp in Oxnard, California is pretty damn nice, isn't it?
Oh man, the weather, you can't beat this. Man.
Yeah, you definitely can't beat this. Ty Inseki with us here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star here at Dallas Cowboys training camp. Pats go on tomorrow. Obviously, you know, today looked like the defense kind of won the day. As an offensive lineman, when pads go on, is that when it really begins for you guys?
You know, technique is technique. So pads, you know, a little, I guess that's for the coaches. But, you know, it's the same technique, pads on, pads off. So, you know, I'm just going to put my helmet on, put my work hat on, and just go to work and try to get better each and every day.
Ty Inseki, congratulations, man. Just knowing the journey. I remember, you know, on some crappy road trips with the San Antonio Talons, eating at some bad restaurants. I remember one time you had a broken wrist and you needed help cutting some steak. To see where you are now, man, I'm proud of you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, it's a blessing. Once again, you know, I couldn't do this without a higher power. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Ty and Seki, an interesting situation. It's COVID protocols. I'm sitting on the tennis courts. Ty is one tennis court away on a practice field with Rob Thompson holding a wireless mic, and obviously a lot of crowd noise there. If you've ever paid attention to Cowboy games or practice, you hear Mrs. Price, her voice kind of carries. Apparently she's standing probably 35 feet away from Ty, but she sounds like she might be 2 feet away from him. We've got to work on that, but I mean, that's how we're getting them right now because of all the different protocols. RJ Ochoa will join us here in a couple of minutes. We'll talk some more Cowboys camp. Simone Biles, the situation going on with her over in Tokyo, and it's Tuesday. Our injury update is next here on the Blitz. Let me tell you about Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. Easy for me to tell you about and recommend Ancira because I am a longtime Ancira customer. Through the years, I've bought many vehicles from Ancira, including one that I'm driving now. My daughter's car, my niece's car, all from Ancira. Half the people at the radio station, Pledge, drives Ancira vehicles, and it's because of their great customer service. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available, and you know price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
It's football, and not the Europe kind. You know, the one where they use their feet in conjunction with the ball.
Prescott will give it a Zeke, starts up the middle, bounces left.
But they also use their feet, but they use their hands as well.
30, 20, and 10, and touchdown.
What am I talking about? Oh, yeah. the American kind. Dallas Cowboys football on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com. This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the US that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
Credit Karma Money is a brand new checking account where you can win daily instant Karma purchase reimbursements on items up to $5,000. Over $3 million in instant Karma has already been given away to over 50,000 Credit Karma members and counting. Visit creditkarma.com/winmoney now to open your free account and start winning instant Karma. That's creditkarma.com/winmoney. Instant Karma is sponsored by Credit Karma. No purchase necessary. Exclusions and terms apply. See rules. Banking services provided by MVB Bank Inc. Member FDIC. Maximum balance and transfer limits apply.
At Lowe's, we know your home is an expression of you, and we see you walking down these aisles of possibility, running your finger on that marble top Allen & Roth vanity, regularly $5.99, but now $3.49, and finding that perfect rattan pendant at an everyday low price of $99.98. In our showrooms of style, you'll find whatever you're into at a price you'll really get into. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for details. Valid through 8/29/21. U.S. only.
If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, get them fixed. Hi, Jason Minix here for New Brakes, nubrakes.com. They're a mobile brake shop. That means they come to you to fix your brakes. We're all busy. None of us have time to go spend hours waiting at a repair shop or want to deal with the hassle of dropping your car off and going back to get it the next day. That is the beauty of New Brakes. They come to you. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs, and they only fix brakes, so you won't get the upsells like at a traditional repair shop. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. They use premium brake parts and back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go to nubrakes.com. Schedule that repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. You need your brakes done? Get them done with New Brakes. You continue to do what you do while New Brakes fixes your brakes, and they're great at what they do. Go read all the 5-star reviews and schedule your repair at nubrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
The home of the Rangers. This is Rangers Radio on KCDC. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Our boys are joining the boys. Cowboys training camp, live from Oxnard, California.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. We are San Antonio Sports Star live in Oxnard, California, or AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Ewald Kubota. Jason Minix here. That's it. Got an hour left. It's always kind of strange because I have two clocks in front of me. You know, the clock with San Antonio time and then the clock out here in Los Angeles on Pacific time. And sometimes get confused about what time it is. But it is time for our injury update. Dr. Thomas DiBerardino joining us now. Doc, training camps are here. It's football time.
How are you doing? I'm doing great.
Man, I tell you, I'm fantastic. When you think about, I mean, how do you complain? It's 71 degrees right now. I'm sitting on a tennis court, and football practice is going on behind me.
That's awesome. I'm jealous, as we all are.
I mean, it doesn't. But I'm more excited about the normalcy of, I know we had a football season last year, but it was all Zoom interviews and practices were all closed, that we are getting more and more back to normal. And it starts with NFL training camps that are going on and we're traveling for work, which is fantastic. But also that means there's a whole lot of injuries to talk about. The Cowboys do make some news today in signing officially Malik Hooker. It's a move that we've heard about for a couple of days, but because of the COVID protocols with him arriving here and having to quarantine for a couple of days and whatnot, they have made that official today. I did see him today on the practice field watching, not participating yet. But you look at a player like Malik Hooker, a great pick when they took him in 2017, the Colts did, in the first round, but he's coming off of an Achilles injury that happened last September. So not quite a year yet. With an injury like that, young player like Malik Hooker, but a safety, what long-term effects do you think could be involved here after that Achilles?
So if he goes through the algorithms and checks all the boxes with the trainers and the team physicians, he at his age is a different Achilles injury than someone who's later in their career, because you get the degenerative tissue issues. He's still only 25, if I remember, and he has a better chance, more likely than not, to bounce back with, in 2 years, we're going to not remember which side was hurt more likely than not. So he's got age and resiliency on his side, certainly.
All right, so I don't want to think about 2 years. I want to think about, September lining up against Tom Brady in the season opener, which would be almost a year to the day of the Achilles injury. How long will it take him to bounce back and be in football shape, let alone just regular shape? Obviously, he had to go through a workout today to pass his physical, but that's different than being football ready.
Right. No, he got state-of-the-art treatment, and he's been, in the dim of light, he's been working hard. From all things I've heard, he should be ready to go. He's between 10 and 12 months. These younger injuries do better, when we put them all together in a big, huge hodgepodge group of the older injuries and the younger injuries. They can take 16, 18 months. But my bet, expert clinical guess, is that he's going to be back and ready to go.
That is awesome to hear. Dr. Thomas DiBerardino with us here on ESPN San Antonio. The injury update brought to you by the Sports Institute at the San Antonio Orthopedic Group. The Cowboys do have a handful of players that are starting camp on the PUP list, physically unable to perform, which is different than the regular season one, obviously, where they would have to be out 6 games. I was concerned when I saw that DeMarcus Lawrence started it on the PUP list because of a minor surgery for some back cleanup. And I don't know about backs and minor and all that kind of stuff. But we did see him working on the side today, doing stuff, runs well, looks fine. So when they tell us that was a minor cleanup, that's probably true?
Yeah, no, it is. I think when you take their word for it, that just means they kind of looked in and just kind of did a little spring cleaning in the late part of July here, whenever they actually did it. I don't know the actual date, honestly, but it's you can bounce back from that. Low morbidity going in, low morbidity coming out of the surgery. So if they're true to their word, they didn't do much, he should bounce back really quick.
All right, so what does that mean from a surgical standpoint? Little spring cleanup. What does that really mean?
So you can get some scar tissue, you can get some little plical bands and just some overabundant healing, almost exuberance of healing. And we can go in and kind of just clean it up. And that's the art of it. That's why you want an expert doing it, because going in and doing spring cleaning in my hands may be different than someone's, backhoe cleanup in other hands. It's like watch repair on a big athlete, but it's a fine tooth comb. You go in, you don't want to make it angry. You don't want to poke the beehive, but you want to clean up the debris field and make everything that's supposed to be smooth, and everything that's not supposed to be irregularly or regular smooth as well. And it can take longer to do, but you're not doing as much. You're just more tedious about the effort.
And as we talk about some of the injuries and guys working on it, D-Law looked fine. He looked like he could be able to go out there. Amari Cooper had some ankle surgery. He's working on the side. He looks fine too. Nothing to worry about there. Tristan Hill though looks slow and limpy, and he seems to be much further away from my medical opinion. And I did not sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. The crap hotel that we ended up in out here, Doc. You never want to do surgery after a night there. Awful story, but our beach house got canceled 2 days before we got here by Airbnb. I didn't know they could do that. So all we could scramble and find was a wonderful 2-star place that quality in name only. That is it. It might be one of the worst hotels I've ever stayed at.
Oh, now I don't feel so jealous. Sorry.
Trust me, there's nobody jealous of the accommodations that we have in this hotel. I can promise you that. I'm just happy that the car's there every morning when we go to get into it. It really is one of those kind of places. Other injuries of note, is there a difference in the way the medical community approaches off-season in these preseason games? You know, they haven't said how much playing time Dak Prescott will actually get in the upcoming preseason games. I'm going to guess none in the Hall of Fame game against Pittsburgh. The New York Giants say that Saquon Barkley, they're going to take him very slow to make sure he is ready for week 1 of the regular season, not willing to risk it. There used to be a time where you wanted to get guys tested in the preseason to make sure they were good to go for the regular season. When did it change to where it was like, nope, we're not even going to take you out of the bubble wrap until it counts?
So I think it's athlete by athlete and depth chart dependent. So if you got a deep depth chart, you're going to lay low on a player and not push him because you don't absolutely need him. I think, I mean, that's from my angle as a team doc when you're in those meetings, like, what are we going to do with Jim? Like, and those are all the variables that come into play. Like, if he's a known deal too, they're less likely to have to feel like they need to road test him. He's road tested. They know what they have and they know time. You can't cheat Mother Nature. We tell every athlete, whether they're a weekend warrior or, you know, a high end athlete, that, you know, we don't hand out Nobel Prizes for beating Mother Nature because you always get bitten behind.
Yeah, you certainly do. Dr. Thomas DiBerardino with us here on the Blitz. Always appreciate the time, sir.
My pleasure. You guys have a great day out there.
We certainly will. That's the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. You can learn more at TSAOG.com. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com and our original Rock the Mic champ rejoining us here on the Blitz as we're live out here in Oxnard, California. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage continues, brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Ewald Kubota. It's RJ, when you think about training camp out here and the differences of the Jason Garrett training camps and the Mike McCarthy training camps. And by all accounts, while this is year 2 for Mike McCarthy, I don't know that last year counts because nothing was normal, right? So this is our first look at the way Mike McCarthy runs things. It is night and day different when it comes to the secrecy aspect of everything that's going on. Like right now, they are on the field going through what Garrett would call a walkthrough. Mike McCarthy calls it mock game. So they're going through their mock game, and we're not allowed to watch. So, like, if you start walking that way, you got to turn your head and look. You're not allowed to see anything. The other day, I walked out there trying to get something set up, responded to a text, pull out my phone, and it was like, oh, you got to put that away, man. If they see you, bad things are going to happen.
I think you should challenge this. You know, be a rebel. You know what I mean? Like, see what happens if you take the phone out. Just be on the phone. You know what I mean? No, but I mean, I think that every Cowboys fan is going to hear what you just said and be like, good. I don't want anybody, you know, telling people our secrets and blah, blah, blah. And like, there's logic to that, I suppose. I mean, I think, you know, Jason Garrett was not a horrible coach or the coach people make him out to be, but he was somebody who was fine with having things decided for him, or you know what I mean, like that shouldn't have been that way. I mean, and that just happened. That was the reality of the relationship between he and the Joneses. And so I respect that Mike McCarthy has said, "Nah, I ain't about this life. We're not going to do that. We're going to do it my way. If you want to hire a Super Bowl champion, this is the way it goes."
It's interesting, and I'm with you. I appreciate on one hand the degree of secrecy and the differences. The other side of it, you're an NFL coach. Are you really worried that some reporter is going to give away all your secrets, or that some fan might give away all your secrets? And if you're that concerned about what little competitive advantage that might be found there, I mean, if you're a coach on another team and you're looking at the media to try to discover something that you haven't found on tape, I just don't buy it.
I mean, I agree with you generally, but I mean, and this is the case with like anything in life. There's an example for every point. Jimmy Johnson has said before that before Super Bowl 28, he was watching TV in the hotel room and he saw the way Buffalo was utilizing Thurman Thomas, and he said, "Oh, you know what? We got to be prepared for that." Because they weren't, and it worked. I mean, so like that is a real thing to like an extent, right? Like you don't have to take it and be ridiculous about it, but this is the kind of thing that if you're winning, if you're having success, people look at it and they're like, "What a baller! That's awesome." Bill Belichick, doesn't give Mac Jones a jersey number forever. It's like, that's Bill Belichick. That's the way he does it. It's great. Mike McCarthy rips names and numbers off of the streamed practice last year. What are you doing? This is so stupid. This is silly. This is micromanaging. I mean, the guy spent a year wanting to get back into this. So I can understand if he has a particular way of doing things.
Yeah, and again, very different than what Jerry Jones wants. And what is nice is seeing the obvious compromise that has come up between the two of them. Regular practices are open, but in typical, I would say, Mike McCarthy fashion, based on what I've seen since we've been out here in Oxnard, they have these two great practice fields, right? They're beautiful. On one side, there are some apartment complexes. On the other side, on the other field, between the football field and the golf course, they've got the stadium set up, all the stands. They put a beer stand in the middle of it, RJ, just FYI. So, but it's almost like let's say it's the left side of Hero Stadium over there. They got all these spectators. So for the practice earlier today, they got all the spectators over there. There's a football field, and they did all the work on the other side. It's like there's not a fan that was in the stands that got a decent photo with their cell phone out there. And because of the stuff in the middle of the field, I don't really know how much they got to see, because Mike McCarthy said, well, if the stands are there, we're going to practice over here, is what I'm guessing, just to make sure that odd formations or whatever they were working on wasn't out there. It is kind of comical when I see the paranoia that comes from some of these NFL coaches.
Yeah, but I mean, that's life. You got to be ready. You got to be assuming everybody's watching at all times. I mean, think about how many cameras are out there. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy when you really think about like how much information can be gleaned. I'm saying I don't blame him. I know a lot of people are like, that's hokum. That's silly. I'm bummed that Jason Minix and all his photography skills can't give us all these great pictures, because I know he'd be ripping them off, just day after day.
I'll airdrop them to you. I mean, they're great. I mean, you can only get so much from the iPhone. I mean, it's what it comes down to. RJ, you think about the pads going on tomorrow. Today was a high energy practice. It was, Monday was a day off. And, when we got here Sunday, what was going on the field was part of the stuff that we weren't allowed to watch. So today was our first chance to really get a look in person at the way they were running practice. And one of the things that impressed me was the urgency that they were using between drills when they were working at the various position groups, the amount of reps, the energy, the enthusiasm from everybody. I don't know if it was because yesterday was a day off or because the pads come on tomorrow, but when the pads do come on, what do you anticipate seeing from the competition level?
I mean, it's going to rise, obviously, that goes without saying. I think tomorrow, though, is the day Micah Parsons announces himself. Like, I think that, that's the day that he, today we saw a lot of defense flying around, a lot of DBs, yanking balls out of the air. But tomorrow's where physical power wins. And that's what Micah Parsons was brought in to do, to rush the passer, to just cause havoc. And I think that tomorrow's his first true, real opportunity to shine in that regard. That's a really exciting thing.
And again, I mean, I'm with you there. I want to see what Parsons does in pads. I know he won't get touched, so I'm not even worried about watching Dak Prescott in pads, but seeing how the offense does move, I want to see the offensive linemen. I want to see a healthy Tyron, a healthy LC, a healthy Zach Martin. I want to see what that offensive line group can do and will do. I have very high expectations. I just hadn't seen it in a long time. It's kind of one of those, they're not getting enough run. I want to see. So we saw some video early on in training camp of Micah Parsons running, playing edge rusher, running, multiple position guy, but going against Tyron Smith. I want to see what Micah Parsons does again in full pads against Tyron Smith on a rush like that.
I want to see him there, but I want to see him flying through Tyler Biadasz. I want to see Micah Parsons coming straight up the middle, path of least resistance. I want to just see him ripping through Tyler and Zach Martin. That's what he was brought here to do. I really, 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 really want to see him just like a knife through butter. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be with your fish later tonight. You know what I mean? Just nice and smooth, piercing through, giving yourself that perfect bite.
Well done, RJ, because we are going down the Malibu a little bit later.
I don't want to drive.
The highway that RJ is afraid to drive on for fear of falling off a cliff.
Dude, it's literally on the edge of a cliff. And the time I had to drive it was at night when I will say people I was with were not able to drive. And I had a rowdy car screaming and hooting and hollering behind me. I'm driving along the edge of the earth in the dark, with all these cars blazing past me in terrain I've never driven in before in my life. So yeah, excuse me for taking, you guys got home that night and I am the reason why, and I am very proud of that.
You would get 5 stars if you had an Uber account. You would have gotten a nice large tip, but I've never seen somebody that afraid to drive that has been driving for a long time. And how do you talk about it being dark? You had the moonlight. There are no street lights, but the car did have headlights. I mean, it's not like we rented a car with no lights. It wasn't total darkness. And you would have to drive way far off the road to actually fall into the ocean.
I don't want to test that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to test that. So, and then I've got, Rob in the passenger seat, just talking my ear off about who knows what. I don't even remember. And I've got Jason in the backseat because he's so impatient on his phone with this just blaring light in the mirror that is disrupting my ability to have any sort of vision behind me. I'm surprised we made it home. I'm a hero is really my takeaway from all this.
I think you should stick with that. And if you were out here on this trip and you were driving, you would also have to deal with snoring because Rudy J has the ability to fall asleep before the car's out of the parking lot.
That's an impressive superpower. I mean, that's, you got to be elite to really be able to pull that off. So I respect it. There he is. There's the man of the hour, Rob Thompson, right behind you.
Yeah, Rob is here. I did not know Rob was back here, honestly. I don't know if you noticed in the middle of the segment, you might have heard some crunching noises. And you remember that morning at Spud Nuts with Rob and the breakfast sandwich?
Oh, yeah.
So
when Metallica took over.
I knew Rudy was here. I did not know Rob had come in behind me, and he's sitting over I'm hearing all this crunchy noise and all that. I realized one of the microphones is on over there, so it's picking up Rob just crushing a bag of Cheetos like there was no tomorrow. I mean, it's like, dude, have you eaten yet? I mean, I looked over. It's bad.
It's important to know what kind of Cheetos. Are they standard? Are they puffy, hot? I mean, what kind of Cheetos we talking about?
I think they were standard Cheetos. It's the I don't know if I could say this out loud, but he probably went into the VIP sponsor area and just snagged a bag off the table because I know he didn't go to the store and buy those.
And you know what? He's going to leave his orange handprints everywhere with that.
No, because you know what else he does? He pulls out the disinfectant wipes that smell like the worst sanitizing alcohol ever and wipes his hands with these. So, I mean, at the very least, he's coming because, well, it smells like old people, but, he's got these
That's
do give
right.
you that this does give you the old people smell, which goes along with the night we had last night, because last night we set a camp record that we we're not proud of. It's kind of like the Cowboys defense last year, historically bad. Last night we were back at the hotel before 10.
I mean, you got a good night's sleep. That's what happens when you do a morning show out in California. You got to be ready to face the whole world.
There were
bright and early.
actually 2 records set. It was the 10 a.m. to bed and the 3 a.m. to rise.
10 p.m. to bed.
10 p.m. to rise.
Yeah.
Getting up at 3 a.m., my friends. That's a challenge. It is a challenge.
Rob, so do you like California time with the morning show under your belt?
No, it's not a morning show. It's an overnight show.
It's practice for the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. When we'll go straight from the bar and the parties right into Radio Row.
Yeah, don't tell that too loudly. Well, we don't want Rudy to know what we're in for, because that will truly be the Bataan Death March. It's going to be four mornings of hell.
Spud Nuts isn't even open at 3 a.m., so you're really roughing it right now.
Nothing is open at 3 a.m.
Hey, RJ, what are you doing Friday morning? About 6:45. What are you busy?
I mean, I'm always around, That's the magic of the internet.
I think I'm thinking out loud here. It's just us.
On the radio, totally.
I know what Thursday night's going to be.
Oh, I know what Thursday night's going to be. Yeah.
I have a feeling that R&R in the morning on Friday is going to be at least missing 1 R. I'll take any bets that one of those guys is not going to make it. One of those guys is not going to show up.
We're going to party all night, Jason. We're not even going to go to bed. We're going to power through, party all night. We're bringing Jared.
You couldn't make it till 10 o'clock last night. You're telling me at the end of the week you're going to be able to go all night?
I'm pacing myself. Yeah, this is a marathon, baby. I'll let you sprint out, rabbit. Run, rabbit, run. I'll be there.
I think it's going to be you and Carl Schoening on Friday morning. Go ahead and put that on your Outlook. If you get the StreamYard invite, you know it's happening. But I'd go ahead and pencil in between 7 and 10 on Friday morning that you're going to be busy. I mean, I know you generally get up and watch Good Morning Football and, all that kind of stuff. Move your tea time to 11 because I think you're going to be doing radio Friday morning from 7 to 10. The boys don't know that yet, but somebody's got to plan ahead.
Hello, RJ. It's 2 a.m. my time. What time is it where you are? Because I need you to do this. It's RJ.
Mm-hmm.
Are you awake?
The text is going to come my way about 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's going to be is the word tomorrow. That's all the text is going to be. Just the word tomorrow.
And it's going to be misspelled.
There's going to be a Q in there.
It's going to be the number 2 MORO. That's all it's going to be.
Having done this particular event in the past, I don't even know if you're going to get that much. I mean, you might get that random text that just has like the period or like, did they just hit the space bar and hit send?
Yeah. I think
so
that might be
anything
what
from
happens.
me, anything, butt dial, just a period, a dot. That means we need you. It's your bat signal. Put on your headphones. You'll be on at 7
to 10 on Friday morning. Just book it. Just
Well,
book
you know
it now.
what?
I mean, we're at training camp on Friday. You're going to end up doing 2-a-days. Nothing wrong with that. You might have having to do halftime as well. I mean, it might be a full day.
You guys are accustomed, in this era of the Cowboys to getting up early on Friday morning. So, I mean, it wouldn't be a true Cowboys experience if it weren't for that. Make sure while you're out there, Rob, on Friday, you take Mike McCarthy the donuts he tried so hard to do one time.
Well, we are going to talk tacos, I would like to think. We tried.
Okay.
Well, we had tacos delivered to him all last season. He got a bag of tacos for every win.
So Cowboys PR just sent a text. These morons haven't RSVP'd to Thursday yet. Apparently, they haven't RSVP'd. I've told them because they just said, your guy's coming. They better RSVP.
So
I was
here's the
waiting
thing.
for a personal invitation from Jerry himself. I felt like he went.
So
you guys got him, but you're just part of the riffraff. I was waiting for the call. I don't know, RJ. I don't know if you realize this, but I brought a sport coat.
Wow. Is it floral? Is it Hawaiian?
It's floral.
It's seersucker. So I was just waiting for Jerry to call because I have the right clothes.
You have to wear a sport coat to this? You don't have to wear a sport coat to this.
Well, this is for the party I'm going to. I don't know where you all are going.
Oh, really?
Man can dream.
Rob's going to Gordon Bombay's house. They're on the coast.
Are you kidding? Rob's going to Luby's because he's going to bed now at 9 o'clock.
It is so easy. It is so easy to lob hand grenades when you're not getting up at 3 a.m.
Oh, absolutely.
It is so easy.
Yeah.
So what I'll do from now on is when I'm on my way out, I'll come by and say hi to you.
Would you?
You and I
Go
sit
ahead.
down, have my morning devotional.
If you can, well,
I got a pledge workout you and I are going to do.
Dude, Pledge is driving me crazy seeing him working out at 3 a.m. He's posting that he's up working out. I hadn't gone to bed yet. It's like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, man, I would say, if you can get into my room, but I'm afraid in our hotel it wouldn't take much to break into that place.
No, actually, I've been watching you.
Even the little metal latch thing that comes on, I don't know how secure that is.
No,
and I don't know how your room is, but Rudy's room is right next to mine. There is some sort of weird balcony outside of our window, but there's no way to get to it from our room. So I don't know where the balcony access is, but I'm guessing that's where
the stalkers sleep.
People can sneak in and sneak out. Yes. I mean, because we had to pay the $20 deposit about not smoking in the rooms there. The idea that we could do that, although I think we did see a couple yesterday that are running a small business out of this hotel.
Otherwise known as a meth lab.
Well, I think he's running the meth lab and she's just hooking on the side.
Selling used couches. Evidently.
And there is, for whatever reason, and I don't know what rooms aren't available. In fact, we will take a photo of this when we go to the room because what I'm about to tell you, you will not believe without photographic evidence. But there is a stack of at least 20 mattresses just sitting outside the parking lot and 20, 25 love seats. And I don't know if that's furniture that was in the rooms that have been pulled out because they remodeled, or if that's furniture that is going into the rooms after they finish the remodeling. But for the people that don't have a place to stay, they kind of have a place to stay.
Yeah.
Just in the back of the hotel.
That's where Rob's gonna nap on Thursday night for the 2 hours before he heads out to tennis courts.
We mock what we don't understand. I'll nap, but I'll rally. I'm ready.
But
I've seen Rob try to rally.
I'll take it from Minix. RJ, you got to come to me from a position of strength, and this is not your position of strength.
No,
I'll take it from Minix. Minix. I will. RJ, you're not going to come at me about being home at 10. I'm not going to take it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you're going to have to come. You can come at me a lot of ways, but don't come at me for being an early bird. Because
I'm not upset about that. I'm saying I'm the guy who's always up at 3. That's what I'm saying. So
yes, sir.
No, I mean, again, I just have never been to the room that early. Now we've gone.
It was a lovely evening
to a nice dinner. Oh, it was.
And we watched the sunset together. We strolled the ocean shores.
When he first said, "Man, I think I'm about ready to call it out," I was like, "Dude, the sun is still out." As soon as the sun was gone, all right, man, I closed out the tab. Let's go.
We closed down where we were.
Was his sweater tied around his waist?
Doesn't matter. I went and I closed down the bar. That's all that I need to worry about. They told me I could no longer stay. They would no longer serve me.
They did not say that.
Well,
they did not say
actually,
that.
They were closing.
Well, no, they might have been closing. That lady might have been about to get off work, but there were some others. We weren't politely asked to leave. It's just kind of one of those things. What'd you say, Pledge? Pledge is trying to wrap us. Apparently, we've Rob, you've made us go 10 minutes long.
I just leave a little love wherever I go.
Oh, my God. Hey, by the way, on my room, they did fix the TV. So, I mean, they will get rave reviews from me because that TV was fixed. I'm afraid to turn it off now because I want to make sure it comes back on. But in our rooms, and RJ, this would drive you nuts. The lights just come on and off all by themselves. You know, they've got some fancy gadget. There's like motion detector. So, you know, you walk in a room and the lights come on. So like in the bathroom, middle of the night, lights will just come on. The lamps by your bed, sometimes they just come on. I don't understand it.
It could be worse. I mean, you know, your door lock could not work.
I don't know that it does, to be honest. I mean, I really don't. It is the Blitz, our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage, brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Ewald Kubota. We'll get into Simone Biles and what happened today over in Tokyo as we continue here on the Blitz, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. If you need your logo on any gear, you know you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club on San Pedro. If you've seen any of the photos or videos that we have posted here from Cowboys training camp, all of us wearing brand new gear with the San Antonio Sports Star logo on it, and all of it's come from Sammy's Embroidery Club. It looks fantastic. Always nice when you're out in a place like California. Somebody says, man, that's a good-looking shirt you got on. Like the logo. Shirt logo, Sammy's Embroidery Club. Business owner, manager, club leader, you need your logo on shirts, on jackets, on caps. Sam's is the place to go. If you need uniforms, Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from, not just embroidery, silkscreen shirts for any occasion. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or go visit that massive showroom down on San Pedro. 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items come with the warranty, and you'll work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him, 210-824-3900. 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Bet you can tell me when the last Spurs championship was. But can you name your congressman? Sports or politics? The answer is obvious. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
You know, Edwin Watts Golf Shops has been closed since, well, the winter storm. So about 5 months it has taken Edwin Watts, but they are finally reopened. So you think about Edwin Watts, they're at 410 and Nacogdoches. They are open and they are ready to serve you. And you know, at Edwin Watts, they've got everything you need to improve your game. State-of-the-art facilities, all their bays, the quality they have, all the big names in golf, from the bags, the apparel, the shoes, you name it. Edwin Watts Golf Shop has it. And you know Edwin Watts, 410 in Nacogdoches, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. They are celebrating their re-grand opening. Go by and see them. They're at Edwin Watts, 410 and Nacogdoches.
More people are driving than ever before. That means a higher risk of you getting into an accident. Call My Collision Center first. Our professionals use original, not aftermarket generic parts at no extra cost to you. Aftermarket parts will bring your vehicle's value down. Your safety and satisfaction is My Collision Center's top priority. We work for you. We provide a written lifetime warranty and invoice verifying parts are factory original. If you have an accident and you want factory parts at no extra cost to you, choose My Collision Center.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Running a business comes with pressure. Remote workforces, HR compliance, retaining top talent. You start to feel Box 10. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR service and technology to work, offering my employees competitive benefit options while lightening my HR load. Instead of obstacles, I'm surrounded by people empowered to be their best. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Hey there, it's CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with an inside track on a company that could save your family over $800 a year on a basic service everyone needs, H2O Wireless. If you're with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, H2O Wireless gives you the exact same coverage as one of those, but at half the price. That's right, H2O Wireless uses the same network, same towers. You can even keep your phone and number because switching is as easy as swapping a SIM card. Right now, get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 a month. And if you want a new phone, H2O Wireless has huge savings on the latest iPhones and Androids. Here's what you need to do. Pick up your phone and dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. When you do, you'll save 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O, and your family could start saving over $800 a year today.
When your AC fails in the San Antonio heat, there is no time to search. Save Service First in your contacts and have an AC tech on speed dial 24/7. Service First. Save us before you need us.
Have Service First in your phone. 5211500.
No one covers Cowboys training camp like we do.
Touchdown, Cooper! Cowboys win!
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix in Oxnard, California at our AA Best Bail Bond Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage. RJ Ochoa back in Weslaco from bloggingtheboys.com. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning.
We've been on this tennis court since 4 a.m. this morning.
You know, you've had some time to walk away from it.
Those socks must have had a long day, Rob.
They have had they're wrapped in some fine kick. They're doing all right. They're living well.
Rob's always got the shoes. All right. So
before we get going, I want to tell everybody to go to our the video feed of your choice, whether you hit Facebook or you hit our website or you head over to YouTube. The way that the wind is blowing through our I guess tent. Well, I was a little bit more than a tent, not quite a structure. Yeah, but the way that are you watching yourself in the feed?
No,
the way
not
that
really.
The banner behind you waves. It's like a CGI effect.
Really? I can't say that I have, and just being clearly honest, I've got the kind of eyeglasses that, you know, when the light.
They're blocking the blue, so you got nothing.
Well, no, it's not that. It's but right across from us is a huge white tent that the sun is reflecting down. I can't honestly see the iPad in front of me. I mean, it's just.
I recommend tuning in because it's surreal. It's like you're in space.
I know it's there. You sound like you've been in space. You doing all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually fell asleep.
He don't want to tell you where he was.
I went over into the VIP booth
and passed out.
And fell asleep on one of the lounge chairs.
And the Cowboy staff came up to him like, "Hey, you found you a quiet place?"
I said, "I sure have. I'm having a fine evening, sir." He actually offered to get me a water while I was
really
trying to
gave you some Cheetos too
and running high. That's where I got the Cheetos. that's actually where he gave them. He knew that I looked hungry.
Well, and clearly that you did. I was going to ask RJ something. I forgot.
Was it football related?
Well, yeah. No, but it involved you. I know you were going to clarify something. I'll think of it in a moment. It will come back to me.
I know we're almost.
I mean, it's a little distracting because, you know, since you moved to mornings, you big timed me in the afternoons and have not cracked the microphone. No, last Thursday at Slackers, Rob, you want to come on at 6? I really want to get an Aggie's thoughts on the Texas OU news. And yeah, Irish goodbye everybody about 5:50.
That's in fact true. I did. I needed to hold my tongue regarding the initial reaction. wouldn't have gone over well with anybody. So yeah, I'm
I thought about it. I stepped back, and then I got really mad.
Then you got really mad.
Then I got really mad. I'm curious today. We had Rudy's first full-on practice.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about it. You've heard about it. Did it live up to expectations? Was it, everything that...
To see those guys, like you see it on TV, like you can't watch it on TV and get the justice of just how gargantuan but lean these dudes are. Like Rob and I were literally 3 feet away from Michael Gallup, going full speed into the fence, doing a somersault over it and never returning to practice after he landed on his knees. It was intense. And then you're like, man, Michael Gallup looks little on TV, but then he stands up 3 feet away from you like, yo, that's not no little dude, these huge calves. Then we saw your guy that you interviewed up close. What's my man?
Ty Inseki.
He's huge.
6'8", 335 is what he's
huge.
listed at.
Collins, like
all muscle.
I think I told Rob like 4 or 5 times. I know he got tired of me. I was like, man, these guys are huge.
Did you guys happen to see?
But it was awesome.
Tyron Smith walking by without a shirt on?
Both Tyron and Leo Collins.
We saw Leo Collins without a shirt,
and I'd never seen Leo without a shirt. Now I know why. He has dropped. The dude looks significantly thinner. He's cut.
I mean, honestly, I thought Tyron Smith was about to go all J.J. Watt and start taking some shirtless pictures to put on Instagram because I mean he's looking that way.
Tyron Smith is a Maytag.
It is hard to fathom and the size of the guy. He was wearing lineman gloves during practice.
Yeah.
They look like the soccer goalie gloves, and those are just regular old gloves. They look like he's wearing soccer goalie gloves, getting ready to defend the World Cup. He's just a massive man, and he is thinner. I wouldn't say he looks lighter. He looks trimmer, if that makes more sense.
I think RJ's kind of bored and mentally checking out of a conversation about grown men and how good they look. I mean,
you hear rumors. He looks thin, before you come to camp, and Leo's proud of it. He's taking off his shirt, strolling around like he's wrestling, like he's heading for a match.
We will wrap up the show. Day 2 here in Oxnard, set the stage for tomorrow as we continue with our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you need to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number. You can text the word bail to 474747 or even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you really understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. So whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, you need to get out of jail fast for stress-free bail bonds. Call AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, over in Weslaco, license number 149. Text bail to 474747. Call AA Best Bail Bonds at 210-225-2121 or go online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Score $1,000 in summer cash. Enter the winning keyword, TUBE, T-U-B-E, TUBE, at sasportstar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, San Antonio Sports Star listeners, this is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Thanks to fans like you, you can now buy Kielbasa products just about everywhere. We hope you continue to enjoy our handcrafted, small batch smoked meats because we sure enjoy making them for you. So grab some today and let me know what you think. My number's on the back of every pack. Right by my promise that if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
Northeast Independent School District is now hiring and training school bus drivers. Whether you're looking for a new job, you're a retiree, or you're retired military, come help drive students to succeed and apply at Northeast ISD Transportation today. No experience is necessary, and you will get paid while earning your CDL and learning how to drive a school bus. The Northeast ISD Transportation Department is ranked as one of the top 100 school bus fleets in America, and our drivers receive exceptional pay and benefits, including health, dental, vision, and and retirement. If you're looking for work, if you're retired from the military, or you simply want to make a difference in our community, apply now with the Northeast ISD Transportation Department. Join our team and discover Northeast ISD by calling 210-356-9229. That's 210-356-9229. Or you can text Drive Bus to 797979. That's text Drive Bus to 797979.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, because shed happens.
Here's pitch. Double your power. Double your fun. Double your Rangers pleasure. The explosive action happens here on the official home plate of the Texas Rangers. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Greeny, weekdays 10 a.m. to noon on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
About to wrap up day 2 of our AA Best Belmont Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage here in Oxnard. It is the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. RJ Ochoa back in Texas. Got Rudy J and Rob Thompson sitting with me here on the tennis court as well. You can catch them 7 to 10. And this week, noon to 2.
Noon to 2, the halftime.
I'm adjusting in my mind about what time you are back in San Antonio because it's different out here in California. RJ, I remember I said I had something I really wanted to bring up with RJ and Rob, and I had forgotten about what it was. It was the day 2 of Carl's Jr. So yesterday, Rob goes and gets lunch. And the way, because of the time difference in the schedules, you get here and you really don't have time to go anywhere for lunch. So Rob was very kind enough I'll go get lunch and I'll bring it back. And that's going to have to kind of be the routine for the week. That's sure. Just the way it is. So yesterday he was like, hey, Carl's Jr. Fine. Man, I haven't had Carl's Jr. in forever. And it was good. So today when he was about to leave, I said, that's not Carl's Jr. again. They're on a really good streak right now of 1.
Hey, it wasn't for lack of looking, dude.
Yeah, no, we did drive around.
Did. We went and looked. It was either going to be that or
Popeyes.
Tacos Ganas.
Oh, Popeyes would have been better.
You see what I'm saying, RJ? RJ's think alike. I was like, yo, let me go and get a 2-piece and a biscuit. But
yeah,
it's hard to eat.
And bring Jason back one of those sandwiches that people go crazy about.
But it's hard to eat fried chicken in public. I don't like eating fried chicken in public. You know what I mean? Grease all in my beard. That's not sexy.
All over the headset.
I got a sexy image to make. Like we got guests coming over here. We got, you know what I mean? Like I don't want Mickey Spagnola
smelling my fried chicken headset
with a fried chicken mic, fried chicken crumbs falling on his face.
That's fair enough. You're correct. Yeah, I'm sure there was a Subway or a Jimmy John's.
Sorry, that was Jerry's. I'm sorry.
An In-N-Out burger. I mean, there was something, but I've had 2 days in a row of Carl's Jr. In fact, on the way
out yesterday, sandwich. I don't know what you got.
On the way out yesterday, even pointed out, hey, there's Habit. Was it Habit Burger? Habit Burger. Hey, that's a good burger right there. We've been there before. It's okay. Close.
Now I understand the concern. I do, but keep in mind there is a roughly 7-mile hike from here to the car.
Yes,
and it is. I don't know how they managed it, but it is in fact uphill both ways. So there is that. And then there's the time consuming. And your ability to get on there. I'm trying to feed you fast.
Although, and he got the burger to me by 5 o'clock Central. But I will say, Carl's is 2 for 2 and officially retired from the Blitz in Oxnard.
RJ, Rob tried to take Jason out. He left the tomatoes on.
Oh, dude.
They put tomatoes on.
We've got to run. We're going to drive down RJ Ochoa's favorite highway. Have a good night. We'll see you in the morning.
Not everybody can make it to every game, but every game can make it to everybody.
Culberson swings and belts one. Straight away left. Way back. That ball is history.